Back home in Arizona, not a great homecoming for a tired D-backs bunch last night, but fans at Chase Field energized here tonight with the Braves in town. And one of baseball's best going against the Diamondbacks in Shelby Miller. Tonight we look to Josh Colmenter to turn his season around after some encouraging changes in his last start. It's Miller and Colmenter, Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The second of a three-game series here. The Diamondbacks and the Atlanta Braves. And the D-backs tonight will have their work cut out for them. There's no way around this against a guy that numbers say is the best pitcher in baseball, Bob. Shelby Miller. He's got the best ERA in the major leagues, the lowest opponent's batting average in the major leagues.
Yeah, it's scary because Shelby Miller was a good pitcher before he converted himself. He was a power pitcher with a four-seam fastball, a nasty curve. Has worked on that two-seam fastball. He's much more economical with his pitches, and you can see nobody's hitting it.
But the Diamondbacks have some hot hitters in the lineup as of late. We've talked about Paul Goldschmidt a lot lately. Don't forget hashtag vote Goldie. Get the vote out there. But A.J. Pollock, we don't want to neglect A.J. He's been almost as hot as Goldie has.
He really has been. It was about a year ago to the day that A.J. Pollock went on the disabled list, and he was headed for the All-Star game last year. And you look at this season compared to last season, he's almost at the same place statistically. So A.J. very quietly having himself a strong offensive season, 10th in the National League in batting average going into play tonight.
And so we'll see how this D-backs lineup tonight does against the Braves. New ace Shelby Miller, the best pitcher in baseball according to the numbers. And when we come back, we'll take one more look back at last night. It was a hailstorm of comments from the D-backs skipper. Not happy with the way his ball club played here last night. We'll look to turn it around. That is coming up. And then first pitch from Chase Field, the Braves, the Diamondbacks. Brought to you in part by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box.
Welcome back to Chase Field. I'm Kate Longworth, getting you ready for first pitch in this Game 2 between the Braves and Diamondbacks. Well, Arizona learned the hard way that there is no rest for the weary. After enduring a 17-inning loss Sunday evening in Milwaukee, the players had a long flight back and very little sleep on Sunday, and it showed in their play on Monday as they fell to the Braves 8-1, committing very costly errors out there, a lot of miscues, but despite his players' mistakes, it was Chip Hale who took the blame.
We didn't have them ready to play, so I'll take the blame on that. That's embarrassing to me. It's just not the way any team that I would ever want to coach would ever play a game. We ran into an out there with good hitters coming up. We dropped the ball at second base when we had a guy dead to rights at second base. Let a guy steal third without even a throw. It's just sloppy, dead baseball, and I apologize for that.
But alas, today is a new day, and Chip Hale himself has said the best way to get that momentum to shift is it starts with the starting pitcher. So can Josh Collmenter get the job done tonight? We will find out on the other side. Stay with us as the Diamondbacks try to get back in the win column. First pitch awaits you. Don't go anywhere.
'Cause it's taken him a lot of pitches to get guys out, and that's why he's going 100.
$17 on the road, but in this Major League Poker game, the schedule makers are holding a handful of aces right now. Shelby Miller goes for Atlanta tonight. Matt Harvey for the Mets here on Thursday. And then last year's NL Rookie of the Year, Jacob deGrom, on Sunday against those New York Mets. The Diamondbacks need their guy to be their opening day ace. It's Josh Collmenter. He is your Arizona Ford starting pitcher tonight. His 11th start. He is winless in his last 4 and searching for the form he showed in April when he had some of the best outings of his career. His pitching coach is Mike Harkey.
His fastball command has not been, Coley-esque, and his ability to get outs early has been probably the most signifying thing out there, because it's taken him a lot of pitches to get guys out, and that's why he's going 100 pitches in 5 innings. I mean, that's not like him, because he's not walking a bunch of guys, but it's taken him 5 to 7, sometimes 8 pitches to put guys away.
Well, Josh, 3-5 on the year. We have seen some incremental progress the last 3 starts. His ERA is the lowest it's been since May 11th. The shift is on. Jace Peterson bunts away from it, but there is Nick Ahmed with a quick 1 pitch out for Collmenter. A good start.
You want to be more efficient? One pitch, one out. Can't get any more efficient than that. Nice play by Nick Ahmed, a shortstop by trade, making like a third baseman here with the barehanded scoop and throw to get the Braves leadoff hitter.
That brings up the shortstop, Andrelton Simmons. Roof and panels open on a beautiful night in downtown Phoenix. And the defense in a more usual setting for Simmons. There it is. They will shift batter to batter and pitch count to pitch count, as directed by Andy Green. Mentioned that Josh's ERA is at its lowest point it's been, Bob, in a while. We've seen some progress last few starts. Just looking for a little more here tonight.
The velocity has been up a little bit for Josh Colmenter. Popped out of play on the right side. The big concerning factor for Josh is the amount of home runs he's surrendered, and I think maybe that's why he's nibbled a little bit more with his fastball. You heard Mike Harkey talking about it, running up those pitch counts early in the ball game. He's given up at least one home run in his last 5 starts, a total of 8.
Yeah, big problem for Josh has been the home run ball. It was a complete non-issue the first month of the season. In 5 April starts, Josh worked nearly 33 innings and allowed just 1 home run. But look at the difference in May. Fewer than 25 innings in his 5 starts last month. 8 home runs allowed. Right to Goldie. 2 down. So if there's a theme tonight, it's keep it in the ballpark. And this is the guy against whom you really have to be careful in that regard, because Freddie Freeman can hit them a long way.
Anybody with their bat in their hands can be dangerous, but Freddie Freeman is the one guy in this Braves lineup you constantly have to be aware of when he's going to make his way up there to the plate. You know he's going to hit the first inning since he's the 3rd batter. Be very careful every at bat with this guy.
297 with 8 homers. The shift is on for the Diamondbacks. There's strike 1 from Colmenter. And Freeman's had a power surge at the plate lately. Something that had gone missing for much of last month with Freeman, and now it's back. He has homered in 3 of his last 4 games. And he has been a Diamondback killer over the years, now with an 11-game hitting streak against the D-backs. Better than 400 during that 11-game stretch. 4 homers and 15 RBIs. Colmenter behind 2 balls and a strike. Three and 1. Freeman 3 hits last night, including that 8th home run. He drove in 3. That's a good sign right there.
We were making a lot of comparisons between Freeman and Goldschmidt in the ball game last night. And another thing they have in common, they both choke up on the bat a little bit, especially with 2 strikes. Goldie sometimes will choke up a couple of inches depending on the opposing pitcher, and you can see Freddie Freeman's choked up about an inch on that bat here in a 2-strike count.
He can protect a lot of plate at 6'5", 225. He is an enormous guy up there. And Freeman had gone over 150 plate appearances with just 1 home run dating back to the middle of April, and was getting asked a lot about the power drought. Said last week it'll come around, it always does, and it has. 3 homers in his last 4 games, after he'd homered only once in his previous 36 games. And he's a tough out here for Colmenter, trying to get a 1-2-3 first. Good numbers against Josh. He's been a problem. It down the right field line and in the seats, and we'll just keep going. And this is what Mike Harkey talked about, Bob. It takes Josh too many pitches to put guys away, and the pitch count goes up.
See the Braves lineup: Jace Peterson, Andrelton Simmons, Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis out in right, Juan Uribe at third, AJ Pierzynski doing the catching, Johnny Gomes in left, Todd Cunningham in center, and Shelby Miller on the mound.
And Freeman wins wins the battle. A 2-out single. And he's now hit in 12 straight games against the Diamondbacks.
The single not really that damaging with 2 outs in the inning and nobody on base, but the amount of pitches it took to give up that single, a little more troubling for Josh.
So with Freeman at first and 2 outs, Josh Collmenter will work to Nick Markakis. A recent arrival in the cleanup spot, and it's worked out pretty well so far. .295. He's had 10 extra base hits, all of them doubles. He has yet to hit a home run this year. Our T-Mobile game-changing player. Now a 12-game hitting streak, the average up to .417 for Freddie Freeman against the Diamondbacks. 0-1 on Markakis. Markakis, the former Baltimore Orioles star, off to a good start in his first season with Atlanta. And the last 2-3 weeks or so has settled into the cleanup spot, hitting behind Freeman. There goes Freeman. The throw from Pacheco is not in time. Freddie Freeman stays on the bag. He's got his second stolen base.
Comparisons to Goldie just continue for Freddie Freeman. Maybe not quite as fleet of foot as Goldie, but got himself a good jump over there at first base and easily steals that bag.
And now he's in scoring position with a 2-1 count on Markakis. That's in there for a strike. 2-2. Jim Reynolds, one of the World Series umpires from last year, is behind the plate tonight. And Josh, who was working on a quick, nice, tidy 1-2-3 inning, now over 20 pitches. And counting. This is exactly what Mike Harkey said they were hoping to avoid. But it's not erratic. It's not lost control. It's the ability to put guys away with 2 strikes in these long, continued, ongoing at bats. Foul ball after foul ball. You got to get guys to miss with 2 strikes. And this is exactly what drives up pitch counts. And you can see the look there that Josh just had, the frustration trying to put Markakis away. This is the trap he fell into with Freeman a moment ago. Another 2-2. Base hit. That's headed for the corner. Freeman's going to score easily. And Nick Markakis has his 11th double. And it's 1-0 Atlanta.
Another thing those extended long pitch at bats will do, you get a look at everything Josh has out there on the mound. You get several looks at his release point, his arm angle. You see the fastball, you see the changeup. Occasionally you'll see that curveball, but you've seen 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 pitches in an at bat. Josh really doesn't have much to fool you with at that point.
And he was a strike away from a 1-2-3 first. Now he's at 23 pitches, trails at 1-0, and he'll deal with Juan Uribe. Uribe 6 for 20 with a pair of homers since his trade from the Dodgers last Wednesday. These are the numbers from both LA and Atlanta. Uribe 1 for 4 last night. Homered twice last weekend at San Francisco.
Josh got 2 quick outs on 6 pitches to start this inning, and he's thrown 20 pitches since, still looking for the 3rd out.
Take a look at the Diamondbacks around Josh Comenter tonight. It's our mid-first bank starting defense.
Ender Inciarte in left field, A.J. Pollock in center. David Peralta was originally in the starting lineup but was a late scratch, so Mark Trumbo moves over to play right field. It'll be Tomas, Ahmed, Owings, and Goldschmidt 3rd to 1st across the infield, with Jordan Pacheco doing the catching for Josh Comenter.
3-1. Well, he was 3-2 on Freeman for the longest time, and now he's gone full on Uribe. And this is exactly the scenario that they were hoping to avoid, working on a 30-pitch first inning with a tired bullpen back there. There's David Peralta, who tried to hit, was in the original lineup as Bob mentioned, just couldn't go with that contusion on the middle finger of his left hand, suffered Sunday in Milwaukee, and so a late scratch. Called strike 3. Jim Reynolds rings up Uribe. They strand Markakis, but the Braves score a run. And now Shelby Miller's got a 1-0 lead. Diamondbacks coming up. Team, which comes into Chase Field tonight, now a game over 500 for the year and only 3 back of the Nationals, 2.5 behind the Mets in the NL East for the division lead. And the Mets are in here for 4 beginning Thursday with Matt Harvey on the mound. Tonight they'll face another ace. It's Shelby Miller, 24-year-old right-hander, an outstanding start to his season with Atlanta after coming over from St. Louis in November when the Braves sent Jason Hayward to the Cardinals. Here's D-backs hitting coach Turner Ward.
You look at the Braves, and kind of history kind of shows these guys really like to use their fastball and kind of pitch off their fastball. He's got good run on his fastball, and he's a fastball slider, curveball pitcher. He's a guy who likes to attack the zone, so he's a guy that we really want to be ready to hit from pitch 1.
And they're in Inciarte. Miller 5-2 in 10 starts. That 1.48 ERA ties him with Zach Greinke for the best in the major leagues, and that opponent's batting average at the bottom there, 175 against him. That's the best mark in baseball. Uribe knocks that one down and throws out Inciarte. So he's got the best ERA in the majors. He's got the best opponent batting average in the majors. He's already thrown 2 shutouts this year and come within 1 out of a no-hitter. That's a pretty good first 2 months.
Not bad. Not a bad start for Shelby Miller. Has yet to give up more than 2 earned runs in any of his 10 starts this year. We touched on it briefly in the open. He used to be a 4-seam fastball, big curveball, occasional changeup guy, but started working on a 2-seamer, and it has become a legitimate weapon for him. 1
away for AJ. And he is a strike thrower up there, Shelby Miller. Pollock's .312 batting average puts him top 10 in the league. He's got 5 homers. Take a look at the lineup for Chip Hale tonight. As we mentioned, there was a late change.
Inciarte, Pollock, and Goldschmidt at the top. Trumbo, Tomas, and Pacheco in the middle. Owings, Ahmed, and Colementor at the bottom tonight.
And Goldie on deck now, second in the National League First Base All-Star voting. He's about 300,000 votes or so behind Adrian Gonzalez, but he has passed Anthony Rizzo. So get out the vote. Hashtag vote Goldie. 2015 Major League All-Star Game, only on Fox from Cincinnati. AJ back even now, 2-2. He was 1 for 4 last night, following that great game Sunday at Miller Park when he had 3 hits and walked twice. Loses the bat, little roller to Simmons. And here comes Goldie.
First baseman, number 44, Paul Goldschmidt.
Third in the major leagues with a .351 batting average. Goldie gone. He is behind only Giancarlo Stanton for the most RBIs of the big leagues. And only Bryce Harper has a higher OPS. 1 for 4 last night. He's hit safely in 5 straight. And Goldie only 1 home run shy of tying Matt Williams for 6th on the Diamondbacks all-time list. And he's only 2 homers shy of 100 for his career. Miller being careful here. Goldie is ahead 2-0. Mark Trumbo, late addition to the lineup, would be on deck. You can see the center fielder Todd Cunningham shaded over toward the pool. A whole bunch of room in left center field for Goldie. 3-0 pitch. It's in there, says Jim Reynolds. 3-1.
Yeah, this looks like a no doubles defense a team would play late in the ball game. Johnny Gomes in left field is almost out to Friday's front row grill. Cunningham very deep in center as well.
Ball 4. Nothing really to hit there for Goldie. He'll take the 2-out walk. These are the updated National League All-Star first base vote totals, and you can see Goldie about 300,000 votes back of Adrian. So rock the vote, D-back Nation, because we need to fix this.
Oh yeah.
All-Star Game July 14th from Great American Ballpark, only on Fox.
Only on Fox.
Mark Trumbo. Strike 1 to Mark, who's in there at 266. 9 homers and 23 RBIs. Bob mentioned Shelby Miller, the only starting pitcher in the major leagues with 10 starts, allowing 2 or fewer earned runs. He does not give up a whole lot of offense as Trumbo chases that one. He has not given up more than 2 earned runs in any start this year. He's 5-1 in the middle of last month after coming 1 2-out 9th inning single away from a no-hitter. However, Miller is winless in his last 2 starts. Ahead of Trumbo, 0-2. And he gets him to chase again and strikes out. Second inning on the way. Diamondbacks trail it 1-0.
done, and then probably 6 to 7, 8 months, somewhere in there, till back to full strength.
How are you handling all this?
I mean, it's obviously it's rough, but just trying to think about getting back stronger and doing everything I can to come back healthy.
And so Tuffy will endure surgery later this week on that knee after suffering a full tear of the left ACL. And now it is from Tuffy to Salty, as Salty gets some reps behind the plate for the Diamondbacks. Now Tuffy working side by side from him, trying to teach him this pitching staff as fast as possible. As Chip Hale said, right now, dropping Salty back there is like dropping a guy in a parachute right in the middle of an island. And I'm sure, Bob, you can relate to what a tough assignment he has. But if anyone can handle it, hopefully it's those two working together.
Well, BB, no man is an island, I guess, except for Jared Saltalamacchia.
Well, it's going to be a team effort, no question about it. Mike Harkey and Chip Hale and Tuffy and Gerald Laird and Jordan Pacheco are all willing to pitch in and help Saltalamacchia get up to speed as quickly as possible with the arsenal of each pitcher, how he likes to pitch, warning signs.
A.J. Przinsky. Easy fly ball to A.J. Pollock in center field, and that's the first out here in the second.
All those things that you kind of take for granted as an everyday catcher. You look out to the mound, you see a guy throw a particular pitch, and right away you notice something's off a little bit. Well, it's going to take Salty a while to get to that point, but with the help of those guys I mentioned, hopefully it won't take long.
One away for Johnny Gomes. Jordan Pacheco back there tonight. Gomes just over 200 with 3 homers. 1 for 5 last night with a double. Of course, at some point, Oscar Hernandez will factor into the mix as well, continuing his comeback from that hamate bone surgery. The first overall pick in the Rule 5 draft last December from the Tampa Bay Rays, who must be on the big league roster at some point this year and soon. Otherwise, the Diamondbacks, according to the rules, will have to return him to Tampa Bay, which they do not want to do because they like this young man a lot. And now Josh suddenly can't find the strike zone. He's behind on Gomes, 3-0.
He labored through that first inning through 29 total pitches. 19 were strikes, but 4 were put in play. 6 were taken for a called strike. 8 foul balls, only 1 swing and a miss from the Braves in that first inning.
There's the strike, 3-1. Diamondbacks have the shift on for Gomes. 3 infielders on the left-hand side. And Paul Goldschmidt, there you see him right in the middle there, all by himself halfway between first and second. Three, 2. There's a called strike 3. Second strikeout for Colemenser, 2 down. We have seen a slight uptick in Josh's velocity from his last time out, a no decision against the Cardinals last week. One more reason to be encouraged. You can see here, first 9 starts, Josh's cut fastball averaged only 85 miles an hour. That meant less than a 10-mile-an-hour difference from the changeup. But notice his last start, the cutter velo, up back to an average of 88, and that difference from the changeup, Bob, back down to 10 miles an hour, back up to 10 miles an hour, I should say. Todd Cunningham now.
And Josh didn't say anything, and it's probably wrong to make a guess here, but you hear pitchers talk about that dead arm in spring training, that period they go through where there's just nothing there. It doesn't hurt. It's not a painful injury. It just feels like there's nothing there when you let the ball go. And we didn't hear Josh talk about that all spring. Maybe he went through his dead arm period over his last 5 or 6 starts.
And I assume once you fire the starting gun here through the month of May, you just kind of have to battle through it, and he certainly looked to be doing that. Cunningham at 233 on the year. 2-2. But if he can settle in, get some quick outs, and get that pitch count back under control, it's still only a 1-0 ball game. And another full count here, 3-2. Well played by Mike Podsiadlik down there. Look at Podsiadlik go get it. Scott Chan manning the left field line. There's Scott, our Golden Glovers tonight. This could drop in, and it does. You got to be kidding me. A chance to get that 1-2-3 second, but the Braves will at least clear the pitcher spot here. A 2-out bloop single for Cunningham.
Number 17, Shelby.
We have a moment here. Let's take a look at our Valley Honda keys to the game. No more Freddie the freeloader. We saw enough of him last night to last us all season long. Let's hope he stays in the tank here tonight, even though he singled and scored in the first. And for Josh, we've talked about it. Keep it in the ballpark. Keep that sinker or rather the changeup and breaking ball down low in the zone. Hit the spots with the fastball. Just try to stay out of the middle of the plate. Those home run pitches.
Shelby Miller. 0-1. There's a movement afoot from the boys in the truck to call Shelby Miller the Cobra because Shelby, Ford Shelby, new car guy.
I get it, but you know, I played against Dave Parker. There's only one Cobra.
Fair point. That is the SmackDown winner right there. One of the greatest outfield arms of all time. Whoa. One pitch. That's in there. 1-2. Yeah, they were trying to sell us on a Tomahawk versus Cobra matchup. Sounds more like that, I don't know, some WWE kind of a deal.
Some kind of wrestling thing.
1-2. Tapper to third. Tomas. They work around the 2-out single. Diamondbacks trail the Braves 1-0. Field, D-backs and the New York Mets. After Friday's game, enjoy a post-game fireworks show presented by Gila River Casinos. And then on Saturday, you can get your Tony La Russa bobblehead courtesy of Chevrolet. Sunday, kids run the bases after the game for Phoenix Children's Hospital. Get your tickets now for this weekend's D-backs Mets series, dbacks.com. Matt Harvey pitches here Thursday. Jacob deGrom on Sunday. A lot to see here. Roof and panels open tonight, bottom 2. Shelby Miller has a 1-0 lead. He'll work to Yasmani Tomas, Jordan Pacheco, and Chris Owings 5, 6, and 7 for the Diamondbacks. Quickly strike one to Yasmani, who's hitting .317 with a homer. And is 1 for 13 since the end of that 11-game hitting streak. Oh, 0-2. Miller throws hard, sinks it, cuts it, and when he needs it, he's got that 97-mile-an-hour fastball in his back pocket.
95 right there, just rushed Yasmani Tomas up in the zone. Real late swing that time.
And the Braves have had some pretty fair pitchers over the years. It's a decent pitching history. But Shelby Miller's 1.48 ERA is the second lowest ever by a Braves pitcher through the team's first 51 games. Only Greg Maddux was a little better when he was at 1.34 to open up the 94 season.
Who?
Greg Maddux. You know, talk about a guy that moved it around and located. And you know, Shelby Miller has, in a sense, started to become that more. Sinks it, cuts it, moves it around. It does not rely on that heat that he used to in St. Louis. He's become a different guy, and it's worked out very well.
I'll tell you what else worked out well. Eddie Perez catching Greg Maddux. Eddie Perez, the bullpen coach for the Braves, caught 121 of Greg Maddox's starts in his career, more than any other catcher. He's my idol.
Tomas was behind 0-2, but he's worked it back full as Miller has not gotten Yasmani to nibble at something outside the strike zone. So here's the 3-2 pitch. Puts it up in the air. Center field for Todd Cunningham. The view from high above Chase Field as we take a look at the Atlanta defense tonight. Sponsored by MidFirst Bank.
Johnny Gomes in left, Todd Cunningham in center, Nick Markakis over in right field. It'll be Juan Uribe and Andrelton Simmons on the left side, Jace Peterson, Freddie Freeman on the right side of the infield, with A.J. Pierzynski doing the catching for Shelby Miller.
Jordan Pacheco. We got some news from the Diamondbacks regarding the late lineup change here, and we all understandably assumed that it had something to do with the finger that David injured Sunday in Milwaukee, but the Diamondbacks say that Peralta was removed from today's lineup due to a manager's decision and that he did not aggravate his left middle finger injury. He is available off the bench tonight, but that's a Chip Hale decision. It is not injury related. 2-0 to Pacheco.
Well, the manager's decision could have been based on what he saw in batting practice from David Peralta as well, but you know, we saw him out here. Fully took part in all pregame activities. We saw him throw, we saw him hit, and he is available.
So we'll ask Chip Hale about that after the ball game, and you can see his response on our Diamondback Live postgame show. Brandon Webb is here working with Jody Jackson, and they'll have all that for you after the ball game. Chip is great on those shows. The D-backs Live postgame show with Chip, because he's a good talker. His media has been terrific, I think, and he gives you straight answers. He's not a comedian. He's not a grouch. He's there to answer questions, but he's a tell it like it is kind of a guy.
I think there is some grouch there that we may see from time to time, but it's not something that that he's willing to show. I mean, Chip doesn't like to lose. There's no doubt there's a different tone in his voice after a win and after a loss. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a necessary evil for any manager to face that media twice a day, pregame and postgame.
High chopper to Uribe. He's underneath and has to hurry. And Pacheco beats it out. But Manny Gonzalez says that the throw pulled Freeman off the bag. That was way up over Uribe's head. He was camped out underneath that for a long time.
It's an old-fashioned AstroTurf hit. Just bang it off that hard dirt in front of home plate. Bounce it high in the air. Hey, Uribe's like waiting on a punt right there.
Fair catch. Yep, Freeman's foot was indeed off the bag. A good call down there by Manny Gonzalez. That's a single for Pacheco. He's now hit safely in 4 straight games. A 1-out base runner for Chris Owings. Boy, Miller, who walked Goldie, it looked to be a pitch around in that first, then struck out Trumbo to end the inning. Went to full counts on the first 2 batters of the second, and now he's behind on Owings 1-0. He's lost some command here in the inning. CO in there at 241, couple of homers, 1 for 3 with a double last night. And he's quietly put together a nice little 5-game hit streak following that 0 for 18 skid. And it seems like sitting CO out in 2 of those 3 games in the series at St. Louis might have settled him down a bit. He looks to be somewhat more patient up there last few games.
Well, sometimes in order for a guy to make a change, you have to take away what he wants the most. And for CO, he wants to play every day.
Well, you better believe it.
You sit him on the bench, you're going to get a motivated soldier that next game he's in the lineup.
Shelby Miller has really let the control get away from him here in this second. Let's see if the Diamondbacks can take advantage with the lower part of the order up there. He's at 30 pitches now, only 16 strikes. That's the call there from Jim Reynolds, and it's 2-1. The numbers on CO's 5-game hit streak following that 0 for 18. He's got himself into a hitter's count here at 2-1. He'll keep Pacheco close.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
That one's way upstairs. He's missing badly here in this inning.
Yeah, it's not like he's just off the corners or just above the top of the zone. He's spraying it around pretty good right now.
Gone to 3 ball counts on the first 3 batters in the second. And more balls than strikes in this inning. Ball 4. 2 on and 1 out now for Nick Ahmed. Shelby Miller has lost it a bit here in the second.
Shortstop, number 13, Nick Ahmed.
So it's Pacheco, the runner at second. And Owings at first for Nick Ahmed, who's hitting .226 with 3 homers. Second walk of the ball game for Shelby Miller, who rarely walks anybody.
We'd really like to take advantage of a couple of base runners here in the second inning. As you know, at some point, or you assume at some point, Miller's going to settle in out there on the mound. So when you get a couple guys on the bases, try to cash them in.
You're not going to get that many chances against this guy, that's for sure. And he starts off with strike 1. It's rally time, you're right.
It is.
Nice job there. I like how they incorporated the Diamondback logo in the A. Ahmed 1 for 3 last night. He's hit safely in 4 straight. And he's down 0-2.
You know, I say, partner, we like to come to the ballpark every day and see something that you don't usually see. We just saw one. Chris Owings walk. It's been 80 plate appearances since his last base on balls.
That has never been part of his game, even when he was the MVP of the Coast League a couple of years ago. Chris has been very aggressive, lately over aggressive. And that I think goes back to what we saw before. He seems to have really settled down after sitting out a couple of games in St. Louis. Nick reaches down and just does get a piece of that to stay alive. We've told you all about Shelby Miller. He's got the best ERA in baseball, the lowest opponent's batting average in baseball, but he's not unbeatable. He's winless in his last 2 starts. No decision against the Brewers May 23rd. He lost his previous start. That was last Thursday at San Francisco, although he pitched very well. 5 hits in 7 innings, but the Braves were shut out in that ball game. 0-2 on Ahmed. Chopper Simmons. They can't turn the double play. Ahmed beats it out. And Pacheco is in at third.
Pitcher, number
Testament to Hamilton Simmons right there that they even had a chance to turn to. Look how quickly he got that ball out of his glove. Fielded it right in front of his face and just flipped it from right there to Peterson at second base. CO goes in hard, and with Nick Ahmed's speed, he's able to leg it out at first base and avoid the double play.
And Peterson, a former college football player at McNeese State, has done a nice job learning to turn that double play at second base, but it's still a work in progress. But he won't shy away from contact. That one's fouled off by Coleminter.
We talk a lot about turning the double play and how tough it is to move from the left side of the infield over to second base. There's actually several different ways to turn double plays at second base depending on where the ball is hit, the speed of the runner at first, the speed of the runner at the plate. And right now they just want to get Jace Peterson comfortable with one style of turning the double play out there and then incorporate the others as they move forward.
It's funny, Johnny Gomes is his new teammate, Jace Peterson, and he was talking about the idea that Peterson is a former defensive back at McNeese State. And it was Gomes who pointed out that you don't see too many free safeties playing second base, guys who are converted or former football players who were defensive backs. Usually they play center field, right field, left field. But second base, it's different because it requires you to be smart and be quick, and you can't have that football mentality out there.
There's a lot of forethought before every pitch, and the situation changes from pitch to pitch, count to count, batter to batter. Position yourself differently, sometimes closer to the bag at second, sometimes in the hole between first and second, sometimes with your heels on the outfield grass, other times in even with the baseline. And certainly, as I said, the double plays at second base, there's a number of different ways to turn that double play as a second baseman.
Well, Miller has fallen behind on the pitcher, 3-1. This is his fourth 3-ball count of this inning. There goes Ahmed from first, and he walks the pitcher. The bases are loaded for Inciarte. Third walk, the second of this inning, issued by Shelby Miller. And we're going to get a visit from Roger McDowell here. They're not used to seeing this in that Braves dugout. Shelby Miller giving up fewer than 6 hits per 9 innings pitched this year. That's the best hits allowed rate in the league, and even with a walk rate that's right about league average, maybe a smidge over. He's had very few base runners around him this year. Check out the whip, walks and hits per innings pitched. It's tied with Max Scherzer for the second best in all of baseball, and only 1 percentage point behind Zach Greinke, so he's not used to this situation. Pacheco is the runner at third. Ahmed at second and Coleminter at first. Inciarte grounded out his first time, 0 for 1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Base hit. Pacheco scores. Here comes Ahmed. There is no throw, and it's 2-1 Diamondbacks. Ender Inciarte. Well, they had an opening against a guy the numbers say is the best pitcher in the major leagues, and they took advantage.
Boy, and you love to see that, taking advantage of the opportunities you're presented with early in the ball game, because as I mentioned, you don't know if you're going to get any other opportunities, but hard ground ball past the diving Jace Peterson. Pacheco scores easily. Nick Ahmed right behind him. D-backs take a 2-1 lead.
Coleminter at second, Inciarte at first. Here's A.J. Pollock. He grounded out his first time. A single by Pacheco with 1 out, a walk to Owings, a walk to Coleminter, and a 2-run single by Inciarte. It's through. Simmons with that arm. Throw pulls him off the bag, and the bases are loaded for Goldie. Andrelton Simmons has the best throwing arm of any shortstop in the major leagues, but even he wasn't going to get A.J. Pollock on that one.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
It's a base hit for Pollock. They're loaded for Goldie, who walked his first time up. And really didn't get anything to hit. Comenter at third, Inciarte at second, and Pollock at first. Good speed on the bases for the Diamondbacks.
Needless to say, nowhere to put him this time. You've got to pitch to him.
Well, you could pull a Buck Showalter, Barry Bonds.
I guess.
One. This is inside with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and Goldie is in a hitter's count here. 2 balls and 1 strike. A big opportunity for the Diamondbacks. How about this? More than twice as many pitches after that first inning. And almost as many balls as strikes. 2-1. He's lost it out there.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's throwing 4-seamers or if those are 2-seamers, he's just overthrowing. He isn't even coming close to the strike zone with most of them. I thought perhaps he went back to the 4-seamer to get back into the strike zone, but I think he's overthrowing some 2-seam sinkers.
This is who he used to be in St. Louis, a guy that when he got in trouble would rely on velocity and overthrow. 3-1 to Goldie. He walks in a run. 3-1 Diamondbacks. That's 4 walks tonight through 1 2/3 innings for Shelby Miller. And at 50 pitches, half of them have been balls. Mark Trumbo, bases full, 2 down. Inciarte at third, Pollock at second, and Goldie at first. This is upstairs. Mark was a strikeout victim to win the first, and there was action in the Atlanta bullpen.
Start missing the zone as badly as Miller's been missing in this inning, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt on a borderline pitch.
He told you he had gone 10 starts without giving up more than 2 earned runs, and here through less than 2 innings he's given up 3, all earned. (2-0) to Trumbo.
Kind of swing you like to see 2-0 from a power hitter. Let it go. Get that bat head out there in front of the plate. Trumbo with a good swing at this one. Foul it straight back.
The 9th man to hit in this inning for the Diamondbacks. Two and two.
Good swing on a 2-1 pitch. Well, that's right out there where Mark likes it. Get his arms extended just underneath.
Looking for the big hit here to break this thing wide open. It's full 3-2. That was pitch number 40 in the inning from Shelby Miller. 55 for the ball game to this point, and more balls than strikes. 2 outs, bases loaded, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mark Trumbo. A leaping catch just shy of the wall, and the Diamondbacks leave them loaded. But Ender and Ciarte got it started with a big 2-run single. Goldie an RBI walk, and it's 3-1 Diamondbacks after 2.
Joined by a very special guest. Dorothy Williams, at 100 years old, is attending her first ever baseball game. Are you enjoying yourself?
Every minute of it, because I'm with them all the time and I'm helping them.
Yes, you are helping them. They're going to want you at every game, and I think the fans are going to want you after every game, because I heard after that last inning you think that every time the Diamondbacks get a hit, everyone should get a free Budweiser. Is that what you were telling me?
No, I don't care what I get. I just.
Oh, now she's putting me on the spot.
All right, I will. I'll do that. Yeah, I did.
But the important thing is you're enjoying yourself and having a good time.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm glad I came.
We are glad you're here too, Dorothy.
I've been watching on television, but I never was out here.
Yes, you are right.
Different.
Yes, it is a lot different, and we're going to go upstairs right now and just make sure everything's okay on the field. Thanks for being with us, Dorothy.
Well, Ender Ciarte, who made a terrific running catch, apparently injured some part of his neck into the wall here. Full speed. Yeah, the security guard got him in the side of the head, trying to get out of the way. Just no room for him to go. And our Golden Glover down there, Scott Chan, has that seat that folds up into the padding there. Scott got out of the way. The security guard kind of trapped between Ender and that seat. And there was just no room, no place for a gentleman to move. And he tried to lift the leg up and have Ender get in under there. But as you can see, that leg, raised leg, appeared to catch him in the side of the head. He did make the catch to retire Jace Peterson.
See him up on his feet quickly down there in that left field corner. Tim Crenshaw and the Panflow, Diamondbacks training staff right there. Looks like he's going to stay in the ball game.
Oh, you're going to have to pull him out of there. Take another look. It's the leg of the security guard that catches him.
No way to stop your momentum. He goes into a slide to try to protect himself against that sidewall. Just an unfortunate set of circumstances that caused him to crash into the security guard out there.
Well, Jace Peterson just can't buy a break. Remember, he had that hit away from the shift to lead off the ball game that Ahmed came in and charged and made that terrific defensive play to throw him out. And now Inciarte face plants the wall and hangs on for out number 1 here in the 3rd. That brings up Andrelton Simmons. Simmons now at 276. He had 3 hits last night, and he's now hit safely in 10 straight games. 1 more and he'd match his career high. Batting over 400 during his hitting streak, which has raised his average for the season by 30 points over the last 10 games. The offense is starting to catch up to the glove. Soft fly ball out to Trumbo. 2 down.
If Simmons' offense ever catches up to his glove, he'll hit about 600.
You're right.
Because he can pick it.
Studio 122 right behind home plate. Brand new here at Chase Field this year. Come on in. You can have 1 big room with 20 people. You can divide it into 2 for 10 each. It's divided tonight. Got 2 parties of 10 in there. And the view is absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Freddie Freeman. 4 pitches, 2 outs so far for Josh. We talked about the pitch count, trying to get in and out of these clean innings, keep that pitch count down, put guys away. A chance to catch up on the pitch count here in the 3rd, but he's behind on Freeman, 2-0. Three balls and no strikes.
Josh Comender pitching Freddie Freeman the way Shelby Miller pitched Paul Goldschmidt in his first at bat of this game. Just be careful.
Remember, Freeman had all those foul balls that first time up, and here's another one. Here we go again. Freeman wound up with a single, stole a base, and scored a run on the Markakis double. And the shift is on again for the left-hand hitting Freeman. Three and two. It the other way, Inciarte. Well, we end how we started in this 3rd. Ender Inciarte making a running catch in left field, and Josh Comenter works a 1-2-3 third. He's got a 3-1 lead. Only starting pitcher in the major leagues with 10 starts, allowing 2 or fewer earned runs. He had not given up more than 2 earned runs at any start this year until tonight. Diamondbacks lead at 3-1, and it's the bottom of the third. The second inning included the first ever bases loaded walk of Shelby Miller's career. He just completely lost all control in that second inning, and now Yasmani Tomas leads off the third. Tomas flying out his first time up. Up the middle and into center, a base hit to lead it off. Yasmani Tomas. Fourth hit for the Diamondbacks.
Keep the pressure on. You've got a guy that's obviously not on top of his game out there on the mound tonight. Keep the pressure on him every inning. Tomas with that inside out swing. Right back up the middle of the field. Even Simmons with his range gave up on that one.
Jordan Pacheco singled and scored a run his first time up on a gorgeous night in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Here's a strike, 0-1. Well, you'll see a lot of that from Shelby Miller. A lot of ground ball outs. He has always shown flashes of being a potential rotation ace, but he was always a guy that had a real hard four-seamer, 95, 97. He'd just try and blow it by you all the time. Well, this year he's throwing a lot fewer hard four-seam fastballs and going much more often to pitches that have movement on them. More cut fastballs, a lot more sinkers. Look at the difference here last year versus this year and what Shelby Miller is throwing. That four-seam fastball about half as much. And look at how many more two-seamers and cutters. He's really changed who he is out there on the mound. And he said even, look, he's been a thrower in the past, but this year with Atlanta, he says he's there to pitch, and he has pitched. 0-1 to Chris Owings.
The evolution of an ace. I mean, a lot of guys come through high school or college and minor league baseball just relying on the ability to throw a fastball by hitters, some kind of a breaking ball that they'll throw from time to time when they're ahead in the count. But Shelby Miller has completely reworked the kind of pitcher he is out there on the mound.
I mean, that difference in that sinker from 4% to 29% of the time. And here's another ground ball. He will get more than his share of those. He erases that leadoff single. Fourth inning coming up. Diamondbacks lead the Braves 3-1.
Major League Baseball history might be this evening. Well, back in 1957, Cubs pitcher Mo Drabowsky set a National League record with 4 hit batsmen in one game, including Frank Robinson in back-to-back innings. That's not what really amazes me, because you move forward to 1996, and the late Darrell Kyle tied Mo Drabowsky's record by hitting 4. Let me think. What team was that? He hit 4 guys on the Cardinals, as a matter of fact, while he was pitching for the Houston Astros.
Mo Drabowsky.
Yeah.
Mo Drabowsky was a Cardinal great. He pitched for a bunch of teams, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Here's Nick Markakis to lead off the 4th. It's a great baseball name.
Mo Drabowsky from Ozana, Poland. Seems like pitchers have done that before. 4 guys in one game.
Yeah, that doesn't seem that crazy.
No. Doc Ellis did that in 1 inning, I thought.
Well, he had some help, as we know. One opera Ahmed. It's a great documentary that all baseball fans should see. The documentary, D-O-C-K, about the life of Doc Ellis, the Pirates pitcher, Yankee pitcher. Well, Josh Colmenter, after a rocky first inning, has settled in a bit here. He's now retired 5 in a row. Here's Juan Uribe. Josh had a 1-2-3 third. Keep that pitch count down. Put guys away early. That's the key for him tonight. Josh has not won a game since May 6th. 0-2 in his last 4 starts, coming off a couple of no decisions. Uribe bangs it into right center, a 1-out single. I have a feeling this guy's going to be able to hit like that when he's 50.
You really get that feeling.
He might be 50, but it just seems like he will always do that.
Well, you know, he's a smart hitter. He gets himself in certain counts. He'll turn it around and look for an off-speed pitch. If a fastball pitcher on the mound, he'll get himself in those obvious fastball counts, and he'll start that bat a little bit early. He's just a very savvy veteran hitter.
He sure is. Here's another one. A.J. Przinsky flying out his first time up. Although Przinsky's bat has really slowed down after a red-hot start with Atlanta. He's seen Josh Colmenter a few times before. Przinsky hitting only 145 over his last 17 games. It's been quite a contrast to the way he began the season. He hit over 420 in April. But right now he's stuck in a 3 for 27. On base twice last night with a walk and a single.
You don't need too many reasons to come down to this area, but Alice Cooperstown Restaurant right down the street here from the ballpark, and if you happen to be there at 5 o'clock tonight, a very impromptu concert with Alice Cooper and Sammy Hagar playing. How about that? Show up for a cheeseburger and get to see some rock and roll.
2-1. Bounce to second. Owings, Ahmed, and they roll it. Lovely turn there by Nick Ahmed, who gets way up in the air over Juan Uribe. It was bearing down on him, and Colmenter is out of the 4th. He's got a 3-1 lead. Cup begins as Alex Morgan leads the U.S. women's national team against the best teams in the world in search of their third World Cup title. And the only place you can see the 2015 FIFA Women's World Cup is on Fox and Fox Sports 1. It all starts June 6th. Nick Ahmed going to get us started here in the bottom of the fourth. By the way, it is Abby Wambach, yeah, Abby Wambach's 34th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Soccer fans. That's nicely done there. Our moderately reliable staff chiming in with that. 1-1. Not everybody can bring that to the table. That's why we have him on the payroll. At least I think he's on the payroll. He just keeps showing up.
And by the way, Doc Ellis only hit 3 Cincinnati Reds in 1 inning that day. He wanted to hit all 9. That was his intention.
That is a great documentary.
Oh, it's awesome.
Highly entertaining.
Absolutely.
A documentary. You can get it on the iTunes and all that stuff. Netflix.
Yeah, he drilled Pete Rose to start the ball game after saying he was going to hit the entire lineup. He drilled Pete Rose, and then he drilled Joe Morgan, and he threw a couple of pitches to finally hit Dan Dreesen. Yeah, Johnny Bench said he was running around the batter's box trying to avoid getting hit by a pitch. Same thing for Tony Perez. And then ultimately Danny Murtaugh came out and with a straight face said, "Doc, it looks like you don't have your good stuff today." He was throwing it right where he wanted to.
Another 3-2 count for Shelby Miller, whose control has been spotty at best, and a leadoff walk. That's 5 walks issued in 3+ innings by Shelby Miller. One of them with the bases loaded.
Well, you really like this walk to the number 8 hitter because presumably Josh Comenter up there to put down a sacrifice bunt and move him into scoring position for the top of the order.
Josh walked his first time up there. Here comes Uribe in from third. Freeman charging from first. Brzezinski thought about throwing down there, but there was no one within 20 feet of the first base bag, as Peterson was slow to get over there and cover. One and one.
In case you haven't been with us in previous games this year, as Andy Green goes through the signs, what Josh Comenter is doing is something that Tony La Russa brought from St. Louis with him. Have that pitcher square around very early, then take the bat back into a hitting position, and then come back around a second time.
Close play. Manny Gonzalez as Ahmed is back just in time. And now Josh will jog down there and have a word with Andy Green.
Leaning ever so slightly toward second base, was able to turn and dive back into the back part of the bag, get in safely under the tag.
Freeman holding Ahmed at first. Here comes Uribe from third. Freeman comes in halfway and he takes care of that. They move Ahmed along. And that's the first out here in the fourth. Sacrifice for Comenter. One out for Inciarte.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
Ender had the biggest hit of the ball game so far. A 2-run single his last time up, back in the second.
Teaching point there from Chip Hale to Josh Comenter, probably asking what he should have done if the infielders charged as hard as they did right there. Usually the manager gives the pitcher the option to go ahead and swing away, even if a sacrifice bunt sign is on. If those infielders are so close, it becomes a low percentage chance to get that bunt down. Go ahead and swing away.
to be tough to figure out how to defend Ender Inciarte because he's so pesky up there and so good at just slapping it the other way down that left field line. There's no good way to play him. Looks like he tried to do just that there, but he's behind 0-2.
I think you see that in this alignment. Center fielder shading over into left center. Johnny Gomes pretty much straight away in left field, but both playing relatively shallow compared to Markakis in right field. If Ender gets a pitch on the inside part of the plate, he's perfectly capable of turning it around to right field.
We saw it when he homered at Milwaukee over the weekend. 1-2.
Maybe slap the ball up the middle or the other way with not much power, but if he gets a pitch on the inside part of the plate and turns on it, he does have some pop in that bat.
Yeah, he will spray it all over the field. And Ender had a tremendous third inning in left field. This was the first out of that third. Slams into the security guard's leg. After the gentleman just had nowhere to go trying to get out of the way. And then this one to end the third inning. Nice running catch. A ball and 2 strikes. And in the meantime, he's got the game's big hit. And Ender has now hit safely in 5 straight games and 8 of his last 9. Two and 2. A.J. Pierzynski has talked a lot about the new repertoire from Shelby Miller, and we've talked about that. It creates confusion in these situations. Okay, what's he going to throw? He's got that sinker, the cutter, the 4-seamer. Roll to shortstop. Simmons throw pulls Uribe off the bag. Andrelton Simmons tries to get Ahmed. Goes to third, but the throw is a bit offline. Uribe did his best, but Nick beat it in there.
Not a great base running play by Nick Ahmed. He makes it work because Simmons' throw is high and to the left field side of the bag. Uribe had to reach up and to his left. You could see Nick angling toward that bag and just does get in on his belly.
A fielder's choice for Inciarte puts runners on the corners with 1 out for A.J. Pollock.
Got away with one there.
Sure did. And you got to take advantage. Shelby Miller opened the door in the second when he walked 3 Diamondbacks, and now Andrelton Simmons has created an opportunity here in the 4th. AJ singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. AJ since an 0 for 6 at Miami on May the 18th. Look at these numbers, batting nearly .400 over his last 13 games. There goes Inciarte, and there is no throw from Pierzynski, and Ender has his 7th steal.
Jump over there. Tough pitch for AJ to handle behind the plate, so he just hangs on to it. Bluffed to throw to second to see if he could pull Nick Ahmed down that third baseline, but Nick wasn't biting.
And AJ had in the count 2 balls and no strikes. Comes to short. This will get a run in. Ahmed scores. They throw out Pollock. It's an RBI and a 4-1 D-backs lead. Productive outs.
Take what they give you. Infield playing back all the way around, trying to avoid a big inning, willing to concede a run. And AJ did just that. Hit a ground ball up the middle of the field, take the RBI.
So you've got Inciarte at second. First base is open, and you know what that means.
Yeah.
Trumbo so far has struck out and flied out. That fly out coming with the bases loaded in the second, when he sent Cunningham to the deepest part of center field with a well-hit fly ball. They will take no chances. This will be Goldie's third walk in 3 plate appearances tonight. It will be the 6th walk issued by Shelby Miller. That ties a career high.
I mean, you can understand the 3 walks to Goldie, given the fact he's one of the hottest hitters on the planet right now. But the other 3 walks have come to the 7, 8, and 9 hitter. One by Chris Owings in the second, one by Josh Comenter in the 9 spot in the second, and Nick Ahmed walked to lead off this inning.
Well, Mark Trumbo has ended 2 innings so far tonight. The strikeout to end the first, the fly ball out with the bases loaded ended the second. And he's got another opportunity right here with 2 down. Miller 6 walks. That ties a career high. Ball 1. Fly ball near the right field line. Markakis catches it in foul ground, and the Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 1 more. They take a 4-1 lead. And if you're near the ballpark here, check out Cooperstown in downtown Phoenix.
And now to give Dad the gift he really wants, a day at the ballpark. The D-backs take on the San Diego Padres on June 21st for a 1:10 afternoon game right here at Chase Field. The first 10,000 dads will get a D-backs dad t-shirt courtesy of Audi. Get your Father's Day tickets now at dbacks.com.
We'll see you down here at the ballpark as Johnny Gomes leads off the Atlanta 5th against Josh Comenter, who's got a 4-1 lead. Dad at the ballpark tonight.
Maybe early Father's Day gifts.
Well, never too early, right? Johnny Gomes struck out looking his first time up. He's got all kinds of ink up there. He's got stuff written on everything. Looks like a big key under his arm. He's a character, 1 and 2. Big part of that Red Sox World Series club a couple of years ago. Hit just under 250 on that Boston team, 13 homers. And last season was included in the trade that sent John Lester to Oakland. Remember that one? Finished out the year with the A's and then signed with Atlanta at the end of January. Third strikeout for Comenter, 1 down in the 5th.
Guys like Johnny Gomes, and this is the way he's always been. He is wound tight. This is a guy that is ready to swing when he leaves that dugout. And against a guy like Josh Colmentor, moving the fastball around, throwing change-ups, taking advantage of that aggressiveness by Gomes.
Todd Cunningham. A 2-out single, little bloop single into right center field his first time, which he needed because that snapped a 1 for 28 for him. A switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-hander Colmentor. Shelby Miller is in the on-deck circle, by the way, if you were wondering. It's been a rough day for him. He's avoided catastrophe, but trails at 4-1, and apparently he will take the at-bat here in the 5th. Bullpen has been busy. They've had runners on base all night long. But the Diamondbacks still have not had that big hit to bust it wide open. And so Miller is still in there. A roller over the mound. Ahmed collects it. And Josh Colmentor has settled in nicely here.
Pitcher Shelby Miller.
Over the last 3 2/3 innings, he's allowed only 2 base runners, 2 hits, both singles. He's got 3 strikeouts tonight, has not walked a batter. And here's Miller with 2 outs. Braves, this is the tail end of a long West Coast road trip for them. You can see that long first inning. Much better 3rd, 4th, and 5th here. Atlanta started out at Dodger Stadium where they lost 2 of 3, and it was during that series they acquired Uribe, who walked across the field and joined them from the Dodger clubhouse. They split 4 with the Giants in San Francisco over the weekend, and they have 3 here against the Diamondbacks. Goldie underneath it, just in fair territory, and it's a 1-2-3-5 for Josh Colmentor, who's got a 4-1 lead.
Play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 20 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game.
D-backs lead the Braves 4-1 outside Food Truck Alley, brand new at the ballpark this year. Queso Good, a quesadilla truck. They changed the food trucks outside the ballpark, right on the corner there. Every series, every homestand, you get something different. A great idea, and definitely something you want to check out here. Come on down to the ballpark. One more against the Braves tomorrow afternoon. That's a day game, a little matinee for you. And then 4 against the Mets. Matt Harvey on Thursday. dbacks.com/tickets. And the best thing about that is you can save on the old AC. It's kind of getting to that point, BB, where we're looking at triple digits every day. So you turn your air conditioning off. Come on down here. Use ours.
Yeah, come on down. Nice and cool inside Chase Field for a day game tomorrow.
And a lovely night here tonight. Everything opened up, roof and panels. A gorgeous night. And visit the photo zone. The photo booth. There's another area in the ballpark where you can take a selfie with Randy Johnson, Paul Goldschmidt. Not really them, it's just a picture of them, but you can fool your friends.
Tell your friends it's them, yeah.
As long as they think it's real, that's all that matters. 2-2 to Tomas, who singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
And you never know. I mean, Gonzo's always at the ballpark, and we've seen Randy here quite a bit this year. You might get lucky. Come out to the ballpark and see the real thing.
Tomas chases that one from Miller, and he's got his second strikeout.
That was the four-seamer right there at 95. There's a low fog right across the bottom of the zone.
There's J.J. Putz. Gonzo up there. Josh Rowich, communications director. Jordan Pacheco has singled and scored a run. He hit into a double play his last time up. A rough night so far for Miller. He trails at 4-1. He's tied his career high with 6 walks. And it's funny, we mentioned how at the top of the broadcast he was tied with Zach Greinke as Pacheco drops one into right for a base hit, his second hit tonight. Shelby Miller came into the ball game a 1.48 ERA, tied with Zach Greinke for the best of the major leagues. Well, Miller's had a rough night here. In the meantime, Greinke got knocked around by the Rockies tonight at Coors Field. 10 hits, 5 earned in 6, with only 2 strikeouts. The most earned runs he's given up in almost a year. So a rough night for Greinke in his 1.48 ERA. Miller in his 1.48 haven't fared much better. 4 runs, 5 hits, 4 1/3. He's walked 6. First time all year he's given up more than 2 earned runs in any start. Chris Owings looks at strike 1.
Yeah, you love to just keep tacking on against Miller. I hate to bring up the painful past, but the 17-inning game in Milwaukee, the Diamondbacks had a 4-1 lead in that game and kind of threw it into cruise control and allowed the Brewers to climb back and tie the ball game up, and then played all night.
It was a long one. Longest game in Miller Park history. Went 5 hours and 49 minutes. And a long flight home after losing on a walk-off in the 17th. And we saw the hangover effect from that clearly last night. But a whole new ball game here tonight with Miller close to 100 pitches. 0-2 on Chris Owings. CO has walked and grounded out 0 for 1. And Miller, we've seen him last inning or so kind of hump it up a little bit more. He used to be a guy that would always just fire away with 97-mile-an-hour fastball all the time. But we talked about how he's a different pitcher this year. And there was a point at one point last year when he was with St. Louis, he just decided, I'm going to throw more sinkers. And the funny thing was, his catcher in that ball game was A.J. Przinsky, who was then also with the Cardinals as well, and is back there behind the plate again tonight, now with the Braves. So he's got that sinker. He's mixed it in more with that cutter and curveball. And it gives him a different look trying to get hitters out. And the outs come more quickly and more efficiently. And it's made him a much better pitcher. He also discovered that he didn't have to throw so hard all the time. You always hear the term in boxing, the boxer and the puncher. One's more of a technician. The other guy's just got the big haymaker. Well, Miller used to be the guy with the big knockout punch, and now he's more the boxer, more technical. And he said he really picked up some things from Justin Masterson, who throws a big, heavy sink and joined the Cardinals from Cleveland last year.
That's it.
And when Miller was there, he looked at Masterson and said, hey, how do you grip your two-seamer? Like this, okay, I got it, and kind of messed around with it and really had good results. He just said he kind of tried the Masterson grip. It was comfortable. And he went to Brzezinski and said, yeah, I'm going to start throwing this in the game today. And AJ said, okay. And boy, it made a difference. Simmons can't quite get it. It's over his head.
Garcia measured that one perfectly. Just got enough of it to get it over the head of Simmons out there at shortstop. Even had a chance to time his jump, but just couldn't get up there high enough. CO on base with a base hit. He's reached on a walk earlier in the ball game, and that'll be it for Shelby Miller.
Well, this is very uncharacteristic as the Diamondbacks chase Miller. He does not survive the fifth. He's responsible for 2 base runners, and he trails it 4-1 back after this. Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers. Diamondbacks lead the Braves 4-1 and threatening more here. New pitcher for Atlanta is the right-hander Cody Martin. Just joined the Braves yesterday from AAA Gwinnett, his second big league stint with the club. And the ERA over 4. He's got Pacheco at second and Owings at first. 1 out, and the batter is Nick Ahmed. I heard Chip Hale on the radio today with Burns and Gambo. He does his hit once a week, and he was talking about Nick Ahmed. And every time you see Nick, he's the world's nicest guy. He's a terrific kid. Seems very laid back, but Chip described him. It's like, hey, this guy's got a street fighter mentality. And when he was scuffling in April, and it was at 1:30 and all that, he believed he never lost confidence, Nick Ahmed. And that's what Chip said most impressed him. He just kept coming back and taking a punch and hanging with it. And Chip said every coach he has, every guy that ever had Nick Ahmed in the minor leagues told him, look, this is who Nick Ahmed is. For whatever reason, he really struggles in April, but he always picks it up. And that's happened again this year, almost as if on cue. Even after a good spring, Nick hit well over 300 in spring training this year, but for whatever reason, that April for him, it gets ugly. But the coaches all told him, you got to hang in there because it will turn, and it has. Over his last 18 games, Nick is hitting .350. He's been on base twice tonight and scored twice.
It's not always easy to find that confidence when you're struggling and hitting in the low 100s, but when you know yourself and you know your history and what you've done in the past, sometimes it's a little easier to have that confidence, even though the numbers should say you probably shouldn't have any confidence.
And because his defense is so special, it allowed them to kind of live with it for a while and not worry about running Nick out there all the time, because you knew what you were going to get from the position defensively. That one kicks well away from Pierzynski. Uribe has to go pick it up. And the runners move up.
Kick save and a beauty by A.J. back there behind the plate. Cement mixer slider down in the dirt. He blocks it with his right shin guard. Shoots all the way over to the third base dugout, allowing both runners to advance.
A wild pitch, and it's a full count on Ahmed. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pacheco at third now, and Owings at second. And the infield for Atlanta will come in. Simmons backhands it, coming home. And there's nowhere for Pacheco to go. Well, Simmons tried to get a runner at third. It was Ahmed early in the ball game. The throw was offline. That time he cuts down the lead runner at the plate.
Well, this time with the infield playing in, it's a little bit of an easier play, even though Simmons has to move a couple of steps to his right. Nowhere for Jordan Pacheco to go right there. AJ had the ball blocking home plate, but still have a runner in scoring position here for the pitcher, Josh Coleman, who will get an opportunity to swing away this at bat.
Owings at second, Ahmed now at first. 2 down for Coleminter. Josh has been a hitter up there before this year. He looks at strike 1.
What an amazing turnaround. 29 pitches in the first inning, only 53 the second through the 5th. Total of 82 pitches in the game for Josh. Still a very manageable number. That's why he's taking the at bat here.
Yeah, the last 4 innings, Josh has allowed only 2 base runners.
Diamondbacks able to get into the Braves bullpen tonight. We were hoping it would be last night against Alex Wood, who pitched a real gem for the Braves last night, but this bullpen has really been a train wreck since May 17th. They are last or close to last in every category you can imagine.
That's a foul ball.
Since May 27th, the Atlanta bullpen, a .491 ERA, ranks 29th in all of baseball. Opponent slugging percentage .461, that's 29th in all of baseball. The whip at .147, that's 28th in baseball, and they're dead last in opponents' OPS.
And they've been kind of amazing despite all of that. They're a game over 500, and they're only 3 games back of the Nationals for the NL East lead. Ground to second. Peterson loses the handle, but recovers and throws out Coleminter. And Cody Martin puts out the fire, but we head to the 6th inning. Diamondbacks lead the Braves 4-1. And Jace Peterson, he's been on the wrong end of both our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool plays of the game.
Well, that play by Nick Ahmed, tremendous. And then, of course, the diving catch by Ender Inciarte, throwing his body in harm's way out there. Hang with him, Jace Peterson. I mean, that Nick Ahmed play, think about it. He plays shortstop. Third baseman practice that barehanded play on bunts, the little roller up the third base line, but shortstops don't practice that particular play. And the angle with which he was coming after that ball, I didn't think he had a chance, but man, what a play by Nick.
He has been special. The former Braves farmhand, of course, who came here to the Diamondbacks as part of the Justin Upton deal. And here is Peterson, who leads off the sixth for Atlanta. And Josh Colmenter, over his last 4 innings, has allowed only 2 base runners, singles by Cunningham in the second and Uribe in the fourth. He's got 3 strikeouts. He has not walked a batter. And the shift is on for Peterson, the leadoff man, who's 0 for 2. Braves 12-6 since Jace Peterson took over the leadoff spot. He's been hitting here about the last 3 weeks or so. And it's really worked out well. The former Padre, acquired by the Braves in December as part of another Justin Upton trade. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, Peterson has really shown some patience at the plate in this leadoff role. Had one game last month where he had 4 plate appearances and saw a total of 27 pitches. Once away from the shift. Ahmed, can he make the play again? Not quite. Peterson beats it out. Well, we almost had the sequel to the play that led off the ball game.
Well, the first one was amazing, and Jace Peterson, probably a little frustrated with himself, decided to try it again. This was the one back in the first. I mean, look at the angle. He's running straight toward foul territory. A barehanded play, falls into foul territory as he makes the play to Goldie. He can't do it any better than that. And he tries to make the same play again. A little better bunt this time, a little bit closer to the line. Not quite as hard, and Nick couldn't make the play that time.
Andrelton Simmons is 0 for 2. Just the 5th hit for Atlanta tonight. And he'll keep an eye on Peterson, who's 6 for 10 in his stolen base attempts this year. Simmons trying to extend what is a 10-game hitting streak. Hitless so far tonight.
These are the guys at the top of the order for the Braves that got it done last night. Peterson, Simmons, and Freeman went a combined 7 for 14 with 5 runs driven in. So far tonight, only 2 for 7 for the top 3 hitters in the lineup.
You can see Josh a little frustrated there. Kind of gave the dirt of the mound a little kick. Here comes Mike Harkey with a long and very slow walk as the bullpen will get busy down there. Looks like Andrew Chafin is throwing for the Diamondbacks.
Usually you can tell what's on Mike Harkey's mind by the pace with which he goes to the mound. If it's just some advice or something he saw mechanically in your delivery or update a scouting report on the hitter, he usually jogs out to the mound. If he's stalling for a little bit of time to give that bullpen a chance to get going, he can go as slow as anybody.
Well, Josh had retired 9 of the last 10 he faced before the Peterson bunt single, and he's fallen behind 2-0 on Simmons with Freeman on deck. And if you're not careful, this is where things can get away from you in the blink of an eye. There's a strike.
In my brief journey into the American League with Toronto in 1989, we had a pitching coach by the name of Al Widmar, who went to the mound slower than Mike Harkey just did every time. And it got to the place where we would go on the road and the home broadcast would put a stopwatch in the bottom corner and time Al Widmar from the dugout out to the mound and back.
Was there a method to Al Widmar's madness, or was he just slow?
He was just never in a big hurry. What's the rush? I got nowhere else to go. I'd rather be at the ballpark than anywhere else.
God love him. Now they'd probably put a clock on him.
Oh, yeah.
Only the baseball people, not the TV people.
Pace the game.
Yeah. Pretty soon you'll have pitching coaches. You have to post their 40 times like a scouting combine. 90 pitches for Cole Mentor, 53 strikes. He was behind 2-0. He's back even, 2 balls and 2 strikes with Peterson at first. Jim Reynolds won't bite back there, and it's full 3-2. Freeman on deck. He singled, stole a base, and scored a run in the first.
Yeah, Simmons rarely strikes out, so this is probably an opportunity to start that runner at first base and stay out of a potential double play should Simmons hit the ball on the ground.
Peterson takes off, and Simmons fouls it down the right field line.
Yeah, for Simmons, only 18 strikeouts and over 195 at bats this year. He's a guy that's going to get the bat on the ball, put it in place somewhere most of the time. That's why it's safe to go ahead and start that runner over there at first.
And they thought because he's such a good contact guy up there that very early in his career he might be a leadoff man, but they've gotten away from that lately. Here goes the runner. That's in the seats as well. Peterson will go back to the bag at first, and we'll do it one more time. This is like when he was running sprints football practice back at McNeese State, Chase Peterson. There we go. That'll cool you off. A little cold still at the ballpark. Close that time. Andy Gonzalez says safe.
A little bit of a lean by Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
99% sure he's going to run again, but able to get back in even with that slight flinch toward second base.
Another 3-2 pitch. Another throw over. Peterson takes off again. Simmons lines it to center. A.J. Pollock. One away. Fulmer did a nice job there. Was behind 2 balls and no strikes. Got the mound visit from Mike Harkey. Got to that full count. Kept the runner close and got the out. And now he'll work to Freddie Freeman. Freeman singled, stole the base, scored a run in the first. He's 1 for 2 after his 3-hit night here last night, including his 8th home run. Ahmed lays out and gets it. Can they roll it? The throw from Owings pulls Goldie off the bag, but look at Nick Ahmed go get it.
Fully extended, makes that diving play, gets up to one knee and fires on to CO. Unfortunately, his throw's offline at first. I think Freeman probably would have beat it out anyway, but what a great force play at second base. Looked like a base hit through into left field. Nick took it away.
Boy, did he ever. As Tony La Russa has told us, Nick Ahmed is in that group of guys with the D-backs that are or will be championship winners. Nick Markakis, an RBI double in the first. He's 1 for 2. Markakis now with the Braves got a big free agent deal to come over from Baltimore. 4 years, $44 million. He was an Oriole for 9 seasons. A great defensive player. Won a couple of Gold Gloves playing right field in Baltimore. And always a high on base percentage guy. 1-1.
Working up there at the top of the zone once again. First pitch didn't miss by much.
Two and one. Markakis had major neck surgery in December that prevented him from doing any working out all winter long. Had neck fusion surgery, which meant no running, no weight training, no baseball activities before spring training. And he barely played in any spring training games, so in that sense he's way behind here, but still hitting close to 300. That's in the seats. And Markakis said when you take off that much time, you don't get the strength back right away. So basically he went into spring training cold turkey, and there has been a lack of power to this point. He still has not homered this year, but he has hit consistently. Pacheco goes out to the mound now, 2-2 with 2 outs. And Josh right on 99 pitches.
Yeah, Josh Collmenter made that last out in the bottom half of the 5th. Sitting at 99 pitches. His next delivery will put him to the century mark, and I'd be willing to guess this is going to do it for Josh here tonight. He's had a rough go of it recently. You'd like to get him out of there on a positive note. He's looked really good tonight. His fastball's had a little more zip. His command has been much better.
J.C. Ramirez warming up in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. He threw 31 pitches in that marathon game in Milwaukee Sunday. 2-2 to Markakis. That's headed for the right field corner. And Freeman is on the run. Humble plays it off the wall, and they will stop Freeman at third. Second double tonight for Nick Markakis, and his 12th this year.
Very similar to the double that he hit back in the first inning of the ball game to drive home Freddie Freeman. Hooking down into that right field corner for Mark Trumbo, who got it back in quickly to hold Freeman at third base.
Chip Hale on the phone down to the bullpen. Pacheco makes the long, slow walk out to the mound. Uribe will be the hitter. Ramirez, the right-hander, still throwing out there. Goldie will come join things now. Jim Reynolds out to the mound. Nothing yet from Chip Hale. This is the manager's version of the four corners offense. The old Dean Smith play.
Wait till everybody gets back behind home plate and then head on out to the mound. They just gave J.C. Ramirez probably an extra 5, 6, 7 pitches down in that bullpen.
At the last possible moment, just as Jim Reynolds got back behind the plate. And that's going to do it for Josh Collmenter, who, all things considered, I think, Bob, make a big bounce-back start here tonight.
Yeah, you'd just like to see him continue on the path he's on tonight. Good velocity, good location.
Diamondbacks lead at 4-1. Back after this.
a new ligament in the arm, trying to get used to it again. And I mean, it was like 14 months and I didn't throw in a game, so I'm just trying to get used to going every 5th day again, and putting that stress in a game situation. You can't really simulate that unless you do it. So just building my pitch count up right now is the biggest part, but everything seems like it's going well now, and just excited to get out of here, go face another team somewhere, and it feels like I'm getting close.
As you can hear, Patrick Corbin is excited to join one of the Diamondbacks minor league affiliates early next week for a couple of rehab appearances. He joked that it'll be nice to leave behind those 10 a.m. games that he has been enduring with extended spring and get back into the routine of being under the lights. He also said the goal remains the same. He is not focused on a timetable, but instead going out there and making sure that without a question, without a doubt, he is healthy and confident and feels like he can be 100% back here at the big league level.
Well, J.C. Ramirez likely not feeling 100%. He worked 2 innings, 31 pitches Sunday in the Milwaukee Marathon. He inherits a 2-on, 2-out jam here in the 6th, and he'll work to Juan Uribe with Freddie Freeman at 3rd and Nick Markakis at 2nd. Uribe singled his last time up, 1 for 2. Yeah, the news has been very encouraging for some of the Diamondbacks. Walking wounded here. Patrick getting ready for a minor league rehab assignment. Jake Lamb will report to Reno tomorrow and begin his rehab assignment with the Aces. So that's good news. And David Hernandez has been with Mobile for a while now. He was supposed to pitch yesterday, but they got rained out again. Boy, the Bay Bears have just had a ton of rainouts lately. And so David is scheduled to pitch tonight for Mobile. And Bronson Arroyo threw a bullpen session here today. So the work is ongoing. 2-0 to Uribe. And Ramirez is behind, 3 balls and no strikes. He's got Pierzynski on deck.
Well, it was interesting. Patrick is looking forward to pitching in some night games. You know, I think there's something to be said for that. You know, you go through spring training and you play all the day games, and then the season starts and you find yourself playing at 7 o'clock at night almost every night. Oh, man.
4-pitch walk loads him up with 2 outs for A.J. Pierzynski. Nathan once again throwing in the Sanderson Ford bullpen.
No need to stall for him. He's ready to go if Chip Hale wants to bring him into the ball game.
And he's got a lefty up at the plate, a lefty in the bullpen. Freeman is the runner at 3rd, Markakis at 2nd, and Uribe at 1st. 2 outs, and it's Ramirez versus Pierzynski. AJ so far 0 for 2, hit into a double play his last time up. And this is a guy right now who is stuck in a 3 for 28 at the plate. Base hit. Freeman scores. They are waving Markakis. The throw from Trumbo is not in time. A 2-run single for A.J. Pierzynski, and it's a 1-run ball game.
Well, it was hit hard in the right field. I thought Trumbo had a shot at Markakis, the trail runner here, the second of the 2 Brave runners to score on that base hit. But you can see Jordan Pacheco with that sweep tag just can't quite catch up to Markakis.
Mike Harkey now. Johnny Gomes will be the hitter. And Uribe is the tying run at 2nd with 2 down. Pierzynski aboard at 1st. Gomes is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. In there at 96 for strike 1. field. Ender Inciarte will play it off the base of the wall. Uribe will score to tie the game. Brzezinski stops at third. And it's 4-4. All three have reached against J.C. Ramirez.
Talked about a good matchup, Josh Colmenter against Gomes, because he's so anxious, so antsy in that batter's box. But a guy that throws in the upper 90s is playing right into Gomes' hand. A screaming line drive off the wall out there and left to tie this one up.
And that'll be it for Ramirez. Whole new ball game at Chase, 4-4.
Arizona is brought to you in part by Tire Pros. For the best selection of Continental and General brand tires, visit one of the 22 locally owned Arizona Tire Pros locations.
Tie ball game in the sixth, 4-4, Braves and Diamondbacks. J.C. Ramirez, a walk, a single, and a double. 3-run score for Atlanta to tie it up, and now the lefty Andrew Chafin is in to face the switch-hitting Todd Cunningham, who will flip around and bat from the right-hand side, something he rarely does for the Braves. 20th appearance this year for Chafin, a 3.86 ERA. Brzezinski at third, Gomes at second. 4-4 in the sixth. Base hit by Tomas. Brzezinski scores. Here comes Gomes. Todd Cunningham. A 2-run double, and it's 6-4 Atlanta. Jumped on the first pitch.
First hit this season for Cunningham as a right-handed batter. He had been 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts, but gets a breaking ball and drives it right down that third baseline. Let's see how far in Tomas was playing at third, protecting against a possible bunt. No range. That ball shoots by him down in the corner for 2 RBI.
Well, the previous 5 batters to Cunningham all reached for the Braves, and all 5 have scored in this inning. And now Pedro Siriaco will hit for the pitcher. Siriaco at 185 for the year. He's appeared in only 15 games all season and is 2 for his last 20 at the plate. A 5-run Atlanta sixth. There's a strike, 0-1. Siriaco, the 9th man to hit in this inning for the Braves. Freeman reached on a fielder's choice. Markakis doubled. Uribe walked. Brzezinski single. Gomes double. Cunningham double. The last 6 Braves have reached. 0-2. Siriaco began the year at AAA Gwinnett. Got called up at the beginning of May after the Braves' first 26 games this year. He was originally a Diamondbacks signee back in 2003 out of the Dominican Republic. And Chafin strikes him out. But the Braves get 5. Bottom 6 coming up. They lead it 6-4. Bottom 6, and out there for Atlanta, it's the veteran right-hander Nick Massett. His 14th appearance of the year, with ERA right at 3.68.
Sinker, cutter, curveball combination from the veteran Nick Massett. Third pitcher in a row the Braves run out there whose last name begins with an M. Last one in the bullpen, though, they're going to have to switch to another letter after Massett.
Well, the opponents, you see that number on the bottom there, hitting about 300 this year against Nick Massett and Ender Inciarte, who had a 2-run single in the second, leads it off. Braves led it 1-0. Diamondbacks led it 3-1 and then 4-1. Now it's 6-4 Atlanta.
Big inning to bounce back right here. Don't have to get both of the runs back. Don't have to take the lead in this inning, but you've got to show some life offensively after that 5 spot by the Braves in the top half of the inning.
2-0. Well, you've heard of all the defensive metrics and the shifting and the overshifting and the whole thing. Well, that's Chris, the security guard. He was down the left field line when Ender Inciarte made that great catch. It was his leg that Ender kind of slid into, and so for everyone's protection, Chris is now in the dugout. And Inciarte draws a leadoff walk. So Chris, who's had a tough night, is now guarding the dugout. They've changed the alignment somewhat. Maybe you can run into a Brave down there. Scott Chan has a new buddy down there along the left field line. The 7th walk issued by Braves pitchers tonight. Miller tied a career high when he walked 6. AJ grounded out in the first. He singled in the second. had an RBI ground out his last time up, 1 for 3.
I mentioned the Braves top of the order did most of the damage last night. Last night the Diamondbacks 1-2-3 hitters went 3 for 11, did not draw a walk, drove in 1 run. They've been a little busier tonight, 2 for 6, and Goldie with 3 of the 4 walks.
Way out in front of that one. 0-2. Goldie's had 3 plate appearances, 3 bases on balls, 1 intentional. How about this pitch?
Good curveball from Nick Massett. Look at that rotation.
0-2. Ender looked like he was ready to go there. Look back to Dave McKay. Kind of a little flinch toward the second base bag just as Massett made the move over to first. Inciarte off with a pitch. AJ has to duck a big loopy breaking ball, and Inciarte has his 7th stolen base. And a great pitch to run on right there. AJ Pierzynski had little chance to throw out Inciarte.
Yeah, came back with another curveball that did not take the break this time. And AJ's never been known for his cannon behind home plate. He'll throw out most of the guys he's supposed to, but with a jump like Inciarte had and an off-speed pitch, he had no chance that time.
Make that 8 stolen bases now for Ender. He's got 2 tonight. And a 1-2 count on Pollock. I just want to see AJ get on first, so somebody finally has to pitch to Goldie tonight. Big swing and a miss there. And Pierzynski completes the strikeout.
Massett's always had a good curveball. Not always able to command it like he has so far in the ball game tonight. That one drops off the outside corner into the dirt. AJ Pollock can't hold up.
So 1 out, Inciarte at second. Goldie's been up 3 times. He's walked 3 times, once with the bases loaded. Play on at second.
Come on, Goldie.
He's ready.
Yeah. That would be some kind of tape measure blast right there. I'd like to see that.
Come on, Goldie.
Don't put it past him. Trailing only Giancarlo Stanton for the most RBIs in the major leagues.
They don't want to give him anything to hit with a base open. You know, Nick Massett's a veteran. I think Freddie Gonzalez said, I'd give him a chance to pitch to Goldie here. He's smart enough to pitch around him.
Well, over the previous 32 games, he's walked 23 times. And they're going to give him the free pass here, so that's 4 walks here tonight. So that's 27 walks in a 33-game stretch. And Mark Trumbo tonight has ended 3 innings. He's 0 for 3. So it's hard to blame them because it's worked every time.
Until Trumbo or somebody hitting behind Goldie starts to pick up some of the slack and make these teams pay for the intentional walks to Goldie and the pitch arounds to Goldie, they're going to continue to do it.
Trumbo has struck out and flat out twice. He has stranded 6 base runners tonight. And he's up there with 2 on and 1 out. Bad moon rising, hopefully, for Atlanta.
Mark's had a number of good swings in this ball game tonight, but has yet to square one up and really do some damage.
And the bases loaded in the second with 2 outs and drove one to deep center field at Cunningham. Caught just shy of the wall out there. And he hits it to center again, but Cunningham has room. Inciarte will tag and hit for third. Two down now for Yasmani Tomas. Tomas singled in the third, 1 for 3, struck out his last time up. 2 for 16 since the end of that 11-game hitting streak.
Goldie looked like he had thoughts about stealing second base. Took his lead and then took an extra big step off the bag at first, but kind of got caught in between as he was taking that extra step, and Massa delivered the ball to home plate. See if he tries to get a jump here and take off.
There goes Goldschmidt. Tomas bangs it into left. Inciarte scores and Goldie's in at third. RBI single for Yasmani Tomas, and it's a 6-5 ball game. Well, there's your base hit behind Goldie, and as they say at Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Tomas.
Come all the way back and win this one, make those 3 crunchy beef tacos taste even better.
Freddie Gonzalez to the mound, a hanger from Massa.
Letter high hanger that time.
And Goldie with that jump on the pitch, able to get in there at third on the base hit to left. Well, Pacheco will be the hitter. Freddie Gonzalez going to that bullpen. It's a 1-run game, tying runs 90 feet away with 2 outs. Back after this.
Walk of the night. Now, in a normal game situation, the Diamondbacks cleanup hitter collectively has very strong numbers, but when that number 4 hitter comes up to bat after Goldie was intentionally walked, he tends to struggle. He cannot come up with that clutch hit, no matter who it be. Now, Chip Hale said it's probably a matter of getting into that player's head. They are human, and when they know that the guy in front of them was intentionally walked, they feel the pressure up there, and it's hard for them to just go up there and do their thing. Chip Hale said that's something he's working with those number 4 hitters, to just go up there, play their game, get on base, and pass the baton.
Well, tying run at third, 2 outs. There's a right-hander they like a lot in this Braves bullpen, Brandon Caniff, who has just been death on right-hand hitters so far. And Jordan Pacheco is in there with runners in the corners and 2 down. Pacheco a pair of singles tonight. He scored a run, 2 for 3. Brandon Caniff has allowed only one of his 15 inherited runners to score this year. That's tied for 7th best in the major leagues. Pacheco ahead, 2 balls, no strikes. Three-0. Chris Owings would be next. Diamondbacks tonight just 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Goldie is the tying run at third. Tomas the go-ahead run at first. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. That's the 9th walk issued by Braves pitchers tonight.
Second baseman, Chris Owings.
They're loaded with 2 outs for Chris Owings. CO singled his last time up. He walked back in the second. He's 1 for 2. Goldschmidt, Tomas, Pacheco, third to first. Jumps on the first pitch and hits a lazy fly ball to right center field. And the Diamondbacks leave them loaded, but they get back within 1. Yasmani Tomas, RBI number 19 on the year. And as we go to the 7th at Chase Field, D-backs trail at 6-5.
And we've had a lot of changes go through our plans for D-backs Live, our post-game show, Brandon. Yes. And now D-backs back within 1, and now the challenge is up to the bullpen, right?
No doubt. They got to keep it right there. They came back and scored 1. They need to scratch a couple more, but the D-backs have 3 more attempts to score a couple runs, and as well as the bullpen needs to keep them right there. Absolutely. All right, hopefully a shutdown inning for those guys. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, guys. We'll look for Diamondback Live post-game show after the ball game. Right now, it's Andrew Chafin who's responsible for keeping this a 1-run ball game. 6-5 as we start the 7th. And here's the Braves leadoff man, Jace Peterson, the second baseman, who's 1 for 3. Tomas in on the grass at third for Peterson.
No pull shift this time for Peterson with a left-handed pitcher on the mound. Less likely to turn that ball around and hook it to the right side. So the Diamondbacks pretty much playing straight up defensively here against Peterson this time.
Well, BB, I know you're not in our fantasy league. I'm in a fantasy league with the Governor, Greg Schulte, Tom Candiotti has a team. You know, it keeps us busy, it's a way to keep an eye on what else is going on around baseball. I made what I think is a cunning move today when I picked up Joey Gallo, the Rangers third base prospect who made his major league debut today against the White Sox. And Texas just beat up Chicago 15-2. But Gallo's been a top prospect, big power hitting minor league third baseman. And he had a big day.
He drove in all 15.
Well, close. 3-2 now. Joey Gallo, and if you're a fantasy player out there, this is my point. Get on this guy because this guy's going to hit a lot of home runs in the big leagues. Joey Gallo, Rangers third baseman. Get on right now. Pick him up. There's a walk to Peterson. He went 3 for 4. 4 RBIs. This was his second major league at bat.
Oh, my.
Off Jeff Samardzija. He singled his first time up, did that the second time up. Went about 470. Joey Gallo, 3 for 4, 4 RBIs. He also had a walk. And not a bad way to make your major league debut.
Well, that was an astute trade. Or pickup or whatever you did to get him.
Just working the wires.
I assume that lengthens your lead on the rest of the fantasy league, right?
I'm in dead last. Oh. I have made several blockbuster deals with the Governor. It's a very active league. Derek Hall is in the league. Josh Rowich is in our fantasy league. Anderson Simmons 0 for 3. The problem was I did the old auto draft, because if you can't be there or whatever, it's at a bad time, something comes up, the computer drafts for you automatically, takes the best player available even if he's hurt. So my 6 best players were all on the disabled list, so we're still trying to dig our way out.
Well, now see, a true fantasy GM wouldn't go on autopilot.
Well,
you'd be right there to make your own picks.
Yeah, I can't. Things came up, as they do. Yeah, it was brutal. Every guy I had. DL, you should see it. Like my whole roster was red. DL, DL, DL.
Pause the draft.
Exactly. If only we could. The league is actually called the Snake Talk Fantasy League.
Nice.
Kind of like that name. So always keeping an eye on the scoreboard. 1-1 to Simmons.
Now, do you have to pick a name for your team in this fantasy?
Oh,
league?
yeah, you have to have a name. Like the Governors, I forget what the Governor has a good name. Gubs Guys.
Okay.
Is the name of the Governors team.
Stayed up late thinking of that one. And what's your team name?
Well, I've always here's Goldie. Can they turn the double play here? Simmons can really run. They'll have no chance, but they get Peterson at second. The name of my team is Stone Pony, because I always like the way that the Hawk always, when he works with Steve Stone, would say Stone Pony. Picks to click. And as you can see, if you picked Jeff Samardzija as your pick to click tonight, you lost out.
You got to be bleeping me.
Yep.
That's another Hawkism.
He's got a lot of them. Hopefully Chafin can come up with a big he gone right here against Freeman. He has singled, 1 for 3, scored twice, got a stolen base. So keep in mind Freddie Freeman. He's homered in 3 of his last 4 games. A couple of big ones at AT&T Park over the weekend. And then this one last night off Archie Bradley.
Well, that first one of ATT was out in the kale farm out there in center field.
Hunter Pence will be upset. Do you do the fantasy football at all? No interest in that? Got a league for that too if you want to get a team.
I've heard some shady things about the commissioner. You think
oh yeah,
FIFA has problems. I think Candy is playing the role. FIFA, whatever it is.
Yeah, he is definitely the Sepp Blatter of fantasy football.
Yeah.
He's crooked. There's just no other way to put it. A lot of stuff behind the scenes, under the table, closed doors. Something's going on. 1-0 to Freeman.
I have enough trouble dealing with reality, let alone fantasy.
We all do. Well, 3-0 to Freeman, who's now got a 12-game hitting streak against the Diamondbacks, dating back over the last 2 years. And as Jody and Webby mentioned at the top of the inning, you got to keep this a one-run game. 3-0 to Freeman. That's in there.
Well, you could tell by his approach, Freeman did have the green light right there, but Chafin put that pitch right on the outside corner. And if you get a 3-0 green light, you're looking for one pitch in one zone, and that wasn't it for Freddie Freeman that time.
Big cut at that one. It's full 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Another challenge fastball on the outside corner once again. Big cut that time.
Seems like you're best staying away from down and in with the way that Freddie Freeman swings. We saw that swing he put on the ball last night against Archie. He seems to just crush down and in. Stay away.
So quick on pitches, middle of the plate in and down.
Pacheco sets up away. And Freeman lifts it the other way. Out to Inciarte. Take a look at our Chevron upcoming pitching matchup. Speaking of the Governor and Tom Candiotti, it's all up to them tomorrow, radio only, as Ruby De La Rosa is on the mound for the Diamondbacks. 12:40 start, a baseball matinee for you. And then the Mets are in town for 4 starting Thursday when Matt Harvey pitches. He'll be up against Jeremy Hellickson. There's Ruby. 2 down for Markakis. He's got a pair of doubles tonight. An RBI, he scored a run, 2 for 3. I mentioned Markakis still has not homered, coming off that neck surgery this winter. Freddie Gonzalez was asked, has this been the guy you thought you were getting when you signed him this winter? Gave him $44 million. And Gonzalez said, you betcha. The numbers, the defense, the type of guy he is, quality of person, they're very happy. 1-2.
The Braves have always been about more than just the numbers. All those years Bobby Cox was riding herd over these Braves teams, and they were going to the playoffs for, 14 years in a row. They were always concerned with how a guy would fit into that clubhouse.
This is a guy that averaged 16 home runs a year in 9 years with the Orioles. Still looking for his first one this year. Backs up Ahmed, long throw. And Andrew Chafin hangs a 0 up there in the 7th as we stretch here at Chase Field. Here's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. A good night so far for Ender Inciarte. He's coming up in the 7th. Hey fans, Saturday, MLB on Fox Sports 1 is back. You can watch Joey Gallo when the Rangers take on the Royals, and then it's baseball night in America as the Angels. Boy, Albert Pujols is red hot. You can watch him take on the Yankees. Coverage starts at 10:30 in the morning on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox and Fox Sports 1. Nick Ahmed leads off the Diamondbacks 7th. Brandon Caniff is still in there for Atlanta. Ahmed 0 for 2, but he has scored twice tonight. Pitcher spot is due up next. Aaron Hill in the on-deck circle. He'll hit for Chafin. Sky-high pop-up. Uribe has it, 1 away. And here's Aaron Hill. Aaron batting .235 and 3 homers. 0 for 4 at the plate and getting the start last night. And is scuffling a bit as of late. He is 3 for his last 33.
Sometimes as a hitter, when you walk up to the plate, you can tell how a team is going to pitch you by the way they defend you. You can see Cunningham shaded way over to right center. They expect Aaron Hill to hit the ball to the opposite field here if he hits it into the outfield, which is surprising to me because we know Aaron Hill to be a dead pull hitter, but that tells me if I'm a hitter, they're going to work me away. They're going to throw me a lot of sliders away because they expect me to hit the ball that direction.
Yeah, there are 2 enormous gaps down the left field line and in left center field. And he hits it the other way toward the corner and right. Markakis will give it a look, but it's in the seats.
Of course, pitchers make mistakes. I mean, you may line up your defense and have a game plan to pitch Aaron Hill away with breaking pitches and fastballs and get him to hit it to the opposite field. But if you make a mistake over that plate, he's liable to pull that ball down in the left field corner.
Josh Coleman entered tonight, went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits, no walks and 3 strikeouts. Bullpen let the lead get away. Now the Diamondbacks trying to come back. That is a fair ball. Uribe is there. Long throw, right on the money. He's done that once or twice.
Yeah. Well, the outfield may have been shaded for Aaron to hit the ball the opposite way, but Juan Uribe's planted right on that third base line, goes down to a knee. He eventually gets a hold of the ball and fires across for an easy out at first base.
Look where that throw was. I mean, you take that for granted so often. That's a long throw. If you ever get to the ballpark, just look behind third base and look over toward first and see how long a throw that is. He put that right to Freeman's glove. 2 down for Inciarte now. Ender 1 for 3, a 2-run single in the second. He walked and scored in the 6th. He's stolen 2 bases tonight. He's hit safely in 5 straight and 8 of his last 9.
Nodding his head right there. He probably asked home plate umpire Jim Reynolds, was that a good pitch? And the umpires are usually very willing to tell you, yeah, that was a strike, or no, that was out of the zone.
That'll draw Uribe in from third just a bit. Reading the latest issue of D-Backs Insider here at the ballpark.
Although I do have to say, one time Bruce Fremming was working home plate. I swung at a pitch, fouled it off just like Ender did right there. And I turned to Bruce and said, was that a strike? He said, yeah, you swung at it.
Well, it's not really what I meant. 1 and 2.
We saw Bruce while we were in Milwaukee. He makes his home up there in the Milwaukee area. Always comes out to Miller Park every time a new team rolls through town. Bruce comes out and says hello to all his old friends. We weren't his friends when he was actually working, but we're his friends now.
Can you be friends with an umpire?
After they retire.
Sure. Good to see you don't hold a grudge. 1 and 2. Just missed there. Jim Reynolds doesn't bite. It's full 3-2. A.J. Pollock on deck.
Tried to hit that backdoor slider, just didn't quite get there. Well, it looks like his slider works a lot better when he throws it to the glove side of the plate.
All 4. FoxSportsArizona.com. All your online local sports coverage you won't find anywhere else. You'll get to post-game analysis from Jack Magruder, reaction from the clubhouse, and the Suns take a close look at Arkansas star Bobby Portis. All that and more right now. FoxSportsArizona.com. A.J. Pollock has a single and an RBI tonight. 1 for 4.
You might see multiple throws to first base in this sequence with Ender Inciarte over there. He's already got 2 stolen bases in the game. He represents the tying run, and I'm sure he'd like to get into scoring position as quickly as possible in this A.J. Pollock at bat.
Braves pitchers have issued 10 bases on balls today. 10. 2 of them were intentional. Both to Goldie. The other 2 probably unintentional, but intentional. Shelby Miller tied a career high. He walked 6. Miller went only 4 1/3. 4 runs all earned, 6 hits, and 6 walks. 10 walks by the Braves staff. The most in a game this year. Brandon Kniff, a guy who's very tough on right-hand hitters. But A.J. gives it a ride, right center field, and that ball is in the pool! A home run for A.J. Pollock, his 6th, and the Diamondbacks take a 7-6 lead. Kniff had a hitless streak against right-hand hitters this year that reached 30 straight at-bats, but that one's all wet, and so's this one.
Crushed by A.J. Pollock right there. Maybe paying a little bit of attention to that runner at first base caused him to make that mistake. Oh, beautiful thing.
And now they finally throw a strike to Goldie. A.J. Pollock, the Diamondbacks have come back again at 7-6. Back and forth we go. Boy, A.J., we mentioned this earlier. Since that 0 for 6 at Miami back on May 18th, 13 games coming into tonight. He'd hit nearly 400, 8 extra base hits. 2 hits tonight, 3 RBIs, including a homer.
An opposite field homer, nonetheless. Boy, he blasted that ball.
Goldie finds a gap. They'll roll all the way to the wall, and Paul Goldschmidt will stop at second. They finally pitch to him, and he winds up with his 13th double. And all of this with 2 outs. Not quite Goldie gone, but he's in scoring position for Trumbo.
The slider just kind of spun up there in the middle of the plate for Goldie. Slight adjustment in his swing, kept his hands back, and found that gap in left center field. Cunningham playing him to hit the ball to the gap in right center, and Goldie crossed him up that time.
A walk, a homer, a double, all with 2 outs. Mark Trumbo now 0 for 4. Chases that one on 0-1. We've seen Mark the last few days start to expand his zone, something he did not do in April. He took his walks.
And you wonder how much of that is a byproduct of hitting behind Goldie and seeing Goldie get walked intentionally or unintentionally, pitched around. It's almost human nature to want to go up there and make the other team pay.
Yep.
Being a little overly aggressive.
And that's another case of it right there. He strikes out. And he's 0 for 5. But A.J. Pollock gets his 6th. A 2-out, 2-run homer. And he's giving the Diamondbacks the lead. It's in the pool here at Chase. Inning. Hey, D-backs fans, visit your local Bashas' store. Find the Destination D-backs Pepsi display. Purchase $25 worth of participating Pepsi, Budweiser, and Frito-Lay products, and you'll get a pair of tickets to an upcoming D-backs Friday night game. See the display for offer details. It's Pepsi. Live for now. Daniel Hudson on to start the 8th for the Diamondbacks. What a ball game this has been. It was 1-0 Braves. Then it was 3-1 D-backs. Then it was 4-1 D-backs. Then it was 6-4 Braves. Then it was 6-5 Braves. Now it's 7-6 D-backs.
Hold them right there, Daniel.
Uribe, Pierzynski, and Gomes 5, 6, and 7 in the Atlanta 8th. And Huddy, like J.C. Ramirez, is coming off a somewhat extended outing in that Milwaukee Marathon Sunday. Daniel Hudson worked 1 inning through 24 pitches. A walk and 2 strikeouts, so that's not too much, but you always watch him closely. 1-1.
A good change up there from Daniel Hudson. We talked about Uribe earlier in the ball game. Will pick certain counts and look for a pitch and get that bat started a little early. Ahead in the count 1-0. He was looking fastball, and Daniel threw him a changeup for the swinging strike. Another one. Really good changeups back to back to a very aggressive fastball hitter way out in front.
Uribe singled in the 4th, walked and scored in the 6th. Shot to short. Here comes Ahmed. He gets rid of that ball so quickly and so smoothly. Hey fans, follow the Diamondbacks all season long. MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. It's up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, replay reviews, live look-ins, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and a whole lot more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. One down. Here's Pierzynski. A 2-run single. He scored a run his last time up. He's 1 for 3. By the way, we want to keep you updated on all the guys who are rehabbing and what not. We talked about Patrick Corbin maybe going on a minor league rehab stint soon. Got Jake Lamb going to Reno tomorrow. David Hernandez pitched a game for Mobile today against Pensacola. Right back to the mound. And David looked great. Pitched 1 inning for the Bay Bears. No hits, no runs, 1 strikeout. 2 down.
Boy, that'll be a welcome addition to the bullpen. A fresh arm.
There's been a lot of good news on the injury front lately, despite, of course, Tuffy Gozawish. 2 down now for Gomes. Bronson Arroyo threw a bullpen session at Chase Field here today. Patrick Corbin yesterday. We heard from Patrick earlier. An extended spring game against the Rockies. 3 2/3 scoreless innings. 2 hits, 8 strikeouts. And a scoreless inning for David Hernandez. A scoreless hitless inning for Hernandez today at Mobile. Braves bullpen busy. Jake Lamb reports to Reno tomorrow. There's Bronson Arroyo as he continues his comeback from Tommy John surgery. 98 from Huddy, 0-2.
He's rushing it up there tonight, really feeling it. I was just about to say that we know injuries are a part of every team every season. You're going to suffer some injuries, and if given a choice, you'd much prefer to start the season with a few guys down and add them as the season goes on rather than get into a rhythm and get your roles in the bullpen set up and then have guys get hurt later in the season.
It's almost like making some big midseason acquisitions. Suddenly you get a Corbin back, maybe you get a Arroyo back, you get a Lamb back. Hernandez, Oscar Hernandez gets in the mix. David Hernandez comes back. That's a lot of talent right there. There's Patrick hiding behind Turner Ward. Everything works off his fastball. 1-2 to Gomes. Did he go? He did not, Manny Gonzalez.
This is some of the crispest stuff we've seen Daniel Hudson have this year. Not only the good fastball in the high 90s, he's thrown some good sliders and some really good straight changeups.
Tell you what, you get Huddy going like he's going, throwing as hard as he is. You get Addison Reed back, and he's looked great lately. You get David Hernandez back. You got Brad Ziegler back there. Suddenly the bullpen. There's a lot of very attractive options back there for Chip Hale. Well, it's full now, 3-2. Todd Cunningham is the on-deck hitter with 2 outs. He's had a big night, a single, 2-run double his last at bat, 2 for 3. Another one, 98 from Huddy.
A little bit of late tailing action up and into Johnny Gomes. That was kind of a self-defense check swing right there.
It's just so great to see him out there. Look at that, 4 over 95. One more time on 3-2. Bring him up and sit him down. Well, you wanted an effort from the bullpen, and there's Daniel Hudson, folks, a 1-2-3-8. And that might be the best he's looked in years. Wow, was he good. 7.6 D-backs.
Game summary, and frankly, Brandon, this game has been a bit strange. You know, we looked at it on paper. Shelby Miller's been fantastic. D-backs get to him. Braves have issued 10 walks in this game, but it was the key hit from A.J. Pollock tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. No bigger walk than Ender Inciarte's 2-out walk, and then the big homer by A.J. Pollock there to put him ahead 6-7.
Plenty to break down after the game. Join us for Diamondbacks Live postgame.
We're going to keep you guys busy tonight, that's for sure. Here's a guy that's always busy in that Braves bullpen. The team leader in appearances this year is 27th. It's the left-hander, Luis Avila. Yasmani Tomas, Jordan Pacheco, and Chris Owings, 5, 6, and 7 in the Arizona 8th. They lead at 7-6 back and forth ball game here tonight. Big cut at that one from Tomas, who's got 2 hits, a single in the 3rd, an RBI single his last time up.
Seems kind of odd to bring a lefty out of the bullpen to face a string of right-handed hitters, but Avalon has actually been better against righties this year than he has against lefties.
Right back at you. Sanderson Ford bullpen. 1-run ball game. 9th inning coming up. Brad Ziegler. Well, it's been a terrific night for Jordan Pacheco. Got the start behind the plate. He singled and scored in the 2nd. And another single in the 5th. Walked his last time up. He's 2 for 3. And he's now hit safely in 4 straight. Terrible news we got about Tuffy Goswish, a complete tear of that ACL in his left knee. Surgery scheduled soon. His season is over, and he's looking at a very long and grueling 6 to 8 month rehab process. Thursday, new episode of the 10th inning. We take a walk down memory lane as we showcase the past with franchise first players, a $1 million grand slam, and an alumni reunion day at Bondurant, much more. Don't miss the 10th inning, presented by CenturyLink. Throwback Thursday, this Thursday, 5:30 right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Got your purple shirt?
Oh yeah, ready to go, ready to go.
Those are always fun. Our second Throwback Thursday of the year coming up in that series opener against the Mets. And the Dark Knight. And Harvey will start for the Metropolitans. Peterson has that suit out.
Talk about that $1 million home run. Guylene Hoyle, I can still remember her name. Jake Bell. You had to pick a player that you thought would hit a home run and guess the inning and everything. I mean, they made it nearly impossible. And Guylene Hoyle guessed Jay Bell in whatever inning it was. And I'll be doggone if Jay Bird didn't hit a grand slam home run.
How about that?
We had her up in the booth shortly thereafter, and I introduced her as my fiance, Guylene Hoyle.
I'm sure Joan was fine with it. Chris Owings, a walk and a single tonight, 1 for 3. We saw CO with some uncharacteristic patience when he walked in his first at bat back in the 2nd, but then came up in a big spot his last time up against Kniff and jumped at the first pitch and flied out after the Diamondbacks had loaded the bases. So it's still a work in progress for CO. Knocks that one out to right center. Cunningham, boy, we've seen him. He can really go get him out there. And that's the end of the game. It's a 1-run ball game. 9th inning at Chase. Here comes the Z-Man. Fox King Life high-speed highlights. Ninth inning at Chase Field. D-backs lead the Braves 7-6, and on for the save is Brad Ziegler, his 25th appearance of the year. 3 for 5 in his save opportunities, a 1.57 ERA. Todd Cunningham, the number 8 hitter, leads it off for Atlanta. Cliff Pennington replaces Yasmani Tomas at third. Pitcher spot is due up next for the Braves, and Eric Young Jr. is in the on-deck circle. Base hit for Cunningham. That's his 3rd hit tonight.
One additional defensive change for the D-backs, now at third base, number 4, Cliff Pennington.
Boy, Cunningham came into the ball game 1 for his last 28, but he singled twice. He's got a double, 2 RBIs, and he's the tie run with nobody out for Eric Young Jr.
Pinch hitting for Luis Avila, number 4.
UI Jr. 173 on the year. He's got 3 hits in his last 22 at bats. Pennington will come in on the grass at third. Young with excellent speed. Cunningham is a good runner himself down there at first. EY 2 for 13 as a pinch hitter this year. Tries to get the bunt down and fouls it back here.
Well, we talked about that 17-inning game on Sunday in Milwaukee. Brad Ziegler came in and got 1 out in that ball game in the 11th inning. Little did we know we were going to play another couple of hours, but one guy that survived that 17-inning game relatively intact was Brad Ziegler.
Yeah, Brad came into that ball game and threw only 5 pitches, so that worked out. Oh, and 1. It's the bunt down. Ziegler will get the lead runner Cunningham, and they can't roll it. Not with the way EY Jr. flies up that line. But they erase the leadoff man Cunningham as Ziegler goes back to second to get the out.
Nice play by Brad Ziegler to bounce off that mound, get on that bunt, and get the lead runner at second base. Even though he's not able to turn this, look how quickly Nick Ahmed once again unloads that ball to first base. A strong throw on to Chris Owings covering the bag, just not in time to get the speedy Eric Young Jr.
And he's at first with 1 down now. And Jace Peterson, the leadoff man, steps in. He has singled and walked 1 for 3. And he'll have to keep a close eye on EY Jr. down there at first. He can fly.
That's a huge play to keep that runner out of scoring position in a 1-run game. The Braves over their last 3+ games, 19 for 42 with runners in scoring position. That's a .452 batting average. They're 4 for 6 tonight with runners in scoring position.
And Young last year was a Met, played 100 games in New York and hit only .229 with 1 homer, but he had 30 stolen bases.
Perfect 3 for 3 so far this season.
He bluffs at first and holds, and there's strike 1. There goes Young. That is right to Goldie. So they retire Peterson. But the Braves at the tying run in scoring position with 2 outs for Simmons.
Well, look at Goldie with a left-handed hitter at the plate. He only comes off that bag after holding on EY 1 step. He just kind of pivoted into a defensive position. If he bounces off that bag a couple of steps, that ball gets down in the right field corner for extra bases and possibly a tie game.
Simmons is the hitter. Freeman on deck. Young at second, 2 outs. Andrelton Simmons, who came into the ball game with a 10-game hitting streak, is 0 for 4. Ball one. Simmons 3 hits last night. He has grounded out tonight, hit into a fielder's choice, and twice flied out. Two and oh. And with Freddie Freeman on deck, it goes without saying that this is the guy you want to get right here. There's a strike, says Jim Reynolds.
Thank you. I mean, that's a good pitcher's pitch. I'm not so sure it was in the strike zone, but that's a good spot to put that fastball, low and away just below the knees.
2 balls and 1 strike. Third base, Pennington. Diamondbacks win it. And the bullpen did the job tonight. J.C. Ramirez had a rough 6th inning, but for the Diamondbacks, their first win since last July 26, when they trailed after the 6th inning. Back and forth we went. They had a 4-1 lead in the ball game. They were behind 6-4 after Atlanta put up a 5 spot in the 6th inning. But then they clawed their way back. It was 6-5, and then A.J. Pollock, a 2-run homer in the 7th, gave them